me dance. Standing around, just standing around, standing around, standing around, just standing around, blowing on my hands. Now I'm playing defense. Now watch me dance. Standing around, just standing around, standing around, standing around. Standing around, just blowing on my hands. Now playing defense.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Morning. Let this latest hit from Uncommon Sense keep playing while we say hello to everybody. And Sports and Fitness fans was not put in the corner today. Nobody put the baby in a corner. Let's put you to the top. But now the live thing is covering your face. Go ahead, kick us off. Introduce
man, yo, once again, yo, shout out to Uncommon Sense, man. I don't know if you guys realize or you guys know he dropped another song the other day, the Turnover King. So once again, shout out to Uncommon Sense. He shouted me out at the end of the video. So once again, man, it's an honor for my man Uncommon Sense to shout me out. The music that he keeps dropping, great stuff. And once again, man, we're back, man. My man AOH again has the crew on his Sunday live. It's great to be on here again with my man Speem, the real Cyberius. And again, man, shout out to everybody out there in the chat. You know, like we always say, it's always, you know, really good to see the same people come back to these live shows. And again, man, the same people, I see the same names. Dakota LaReed, shout out to you. Lynetta 402, I see you out there. Eyal's back, who's always in the house. Once again, Speck of Fantasy, M. Hunter, Stevie, always coming through. Let Ray Cook, shout out to you. Primal 730, Socks R2B. Mountain Skies, Terrence Potts, Anthony Sanchez, Millhouse Nevermind, Pink Lady Scorpio, Juan 23, Old School NBA Fan, Armand Smith, Shane Toker 903, Sleepy Audi, John Freeman, Wu Taj. Man, like I said, man, it's truly humbling to see the same people, man. Thank you very much. You guys know the deal, man. Let's roll.
And Speem, how'd you get knocked to the bottom? Or did you just leave?
I don't think he's in.
Okay. Steve! Well, Cyberius, say hello then.
Hello, everyone. Glad to be here on a Sunday morning. Excited to get to the content. Let's go.
And we have 100 jewels, a high five from Armand Smith. Always exciting, right, Robin? Thank you.
Yo, once again, shout out to all you guys, man, to get them jewels. Once again, thank you very much. It's Speedy Eagle. I see you out there. Shout out to you for coming through. J-Bo Music, Armando Ruiz, Big Brazy 887, Import AI. Like I said, to see the same people, man. Like I said, the consistent people, man. The love. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you very much indeed. Let's say congratulations to Cyberius for his 300th episode.
Thank you. Felt good.
Damn, man, you put in some serious work.
Just trying to put in work.
And you know what? It was a good one.
Thank you. I figured for number 300, I better bring it.
Yeah. Or you could be like Jordan and bring it every episode. But
God damn.
Shout out to Prozac 623 for shouting out Cyberius for his 300th episode. Callie Young, David Young Sr. Once again, thank you very much, guys, for coming through.
Love for you guys and hate for LeBron from Germany. That's what we like. International hate. Congratulations, Cyberius, from several people.
Did Speem just bounce?
I think he was butthurt that we didn't, talk to him soon enough or something. I don't know.
I mean, that's
he's probably having some connect. He's probably in like a drive-through or something like that, or he's out somewhere with a bad location.
Yes, that's nice of you to say.
Why did he legit leave? No, he didn't leave.
I don't think so. His connection must have dropped or something.
Yeah, I think he's having technical difficulties.
Okay. Cyberius, shall we start with you?
I mean, yeah, I think that's a great clip. It really shows the difference between Jordan and LeBron, especially when it comes to winning. And it's the clip from my 300. So yeah, let's start with that.
And I prepared it, but it looks like you have something queued up here. So you already have it ready?
I mean, that's just the clip from it.
Okay, perfect. Well, let's throw that up there.
Feeling that this one is more special than all of them.
I don't know why it does this. It puts the wrong shit up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, here we go. This is after Jordan wins his first championship?
I think so. It's a little bit hard to tell. There's not much visual information.
Got some kind of like repeat something there.
Oh, okay.
Feeling that this one is more special than all of them.
Well, let me say hello to my wife and my kids at home because they desperately wanted to come. I wish they were here to help me celebrate. I know they're there cheering, and I can't wait to get home. To the Utah fans, you guys are a tough bunch to play in front of. You guys came out with a lot of loyalty and respect for your team. You made it really tough for us. You guys made it a very competitive finals, and it's very worthy to win this. And I think of all the championships that we've won, this is the toughest.
But at the beginning of the season, this was the goal that you set out for. How wonderful was it to make this into a reality?
We started with that focus. It was a long road, a lot of different tasks and little bumps in the road, but somehow we made it. And I think everybody who looks at this year is going to have a lot of gratification and understanding and a lot of dedication. This team is one. Our leadership is strong. Our leadership is very positive, very determined, and it filters down to the rest of the players. And we never let anybody give up. We believed in it, and we kept coming for it.
Can you describe what you're feeling right now?
I set out a goal when I came back to bring a championship to the city. I gave everything that I had. I poured my heart, my blood, my sweat, my tears to this game, and I don't know why the man above gives me the hardest role, but instead of saying why me, they're saying this is what he want me to do. And
what did you find in Game 5 here?
Just locked in. I had to change my approach a little bit on how I approach the game. When I watched a lot of film, we was able to put together some spectacular games after being down 3-1.
That one right there made me the greatest player of all time. Shut up, bro. That one right there made you the greatest player of all time.
Okay. And this ended up being perfect because today, and this was not planned, but today's going to have like a Parenthood theme and the consequences of not being raised very well. And I don't want to diminish any single parent households or say that being raised by a woman is a problem. I know some people out there have come from single parent households and turned out fantastic. Bottom line is something went wrong, and you can see it clearly in LeBron James. I mean, you couldn't, if you were trying to make fun of this dude, you couldn't have written a worse script or a better script if you're making fun of him. Holy shit. He didn't acknowledge anyone ever. And he even, I don't know if this stands out the most to me, he even found an opportunity to whine and complain in this moment. Cyberius, this is yours. So let's let you go first.
Well, a few of the things that I highlighted in my video, LeBron said I 5 times. Jordan didn't say I 1 time. Jordan said we 4 times. LeBron didn't say we once. Like, what?
And I just because I'm so used to the excuse making of the LeBron James clan, I want to say even if what Jordan was saying wasn't genuine, and I think it was, but even if like he just knew what you should say, damn, at least we had that. At least people had the decency to deliver a classy speech, even if it was fabricated. But there is just no class, whether it's real or fake anymore. Sports and fitness rants.
Yeah, that's a great point you just brought up, AOH. Because, if you think about it, if you're Michael Jordan, and really what this, makes me immediately think about why LeBron James doesn't stack up in these comparisons. This is just another area, that we see. But when you're someone like Michael Jordan, think about it. In these moments, why do you give credit? Like you said, even if he's being let's say Michael Jordan's not being genuine here. He's just being whatever. Michael Jordan understands that in the world, right, in general, he's going to get the credit for the championships, man. It's Michael Jordan. He's going to get all the fanfare, everything. So in these moments when he has this platform, he gives everyone else the credit because everyone else is going to give him the credit. So when it's his time to speak about these moments, he always gives it. Guys, you know how many times I posted these short clips on my channel of Michael Jordan after these key wins, whether it was a championship or when the Bulls first broke through against the Detroit Pistons in the 1991 Eastern Conference Finals. The first names he brings up is Horace Grant and Scottie freaking Pippen, man. Those are the first names he brings up. He doesn't talk about, yeah, man, I was doing all this work. I was going and putting all this work in the gym, and I was training so hard to get past the Pistons, and I was able to lead it. And he said, man, if it wasn't for guys like Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant, those guys, the development of those guys, their play, that's how we were able to do this stuff. This is what we talk about with the lies from Scottie Pippen. Dude, all the opportunities that Michael Jordan had to give you credit, he gave you guys the credit, man. And there's another instance right there with Michael Jordan, once again, using the we mentality, the us mentality. I've said it before. How many times you heard Michael Jordan mention the city of Chicago? Michael Jordan ain't from Chicago. And the man mentioned the city of Chicago more than anybody I've ever heard in my life.
You know what you describe? Security and confidence.
Yep.
Security and confidence. LeBron James displays a lack of security and a lack of confidence, and understanding that what he's done is fabricated. Again, everybody, this show is going to have a recurring theme. I will read some of what we're going to talk about today. The finale of the show is going to be clowning on the Rich Paul two-parent thing. It's just, I know it's petty and it's not actual basketball, but it's upsetting to me on a different level that anyone could listen to the dumbest thing that anyone's ever said and sit there and be like, act like you're hearing prophecy. We're going to we'll probably go to this next for some fun warm-up stuff, but we're going to look at what I discovered with Jordan's assists and then compare that to what Uncut Hoops recently showed. I want to ask why Rich Paul and LeBron James feel the need to be pathological liars. I mean, it's bad enough that we find out later that it was a lie. What? Just be straightforward. I mean, obviously, you're going to get away with whatever you want to. I'm not even sure what the need to continue to lie is. Why would Philly willingly give their franchise to Klutch Sports after watching what happened to the franchise of the Los Angeles Lakers? We wish we had Pineapple Midrange with us still, because this would be right up his alley. Sadly, he is not. And Ric Bucher just so happened to deliver another heck of a monologue that goes right along with the topics we're talking about today. I saw some other headlines, such as whether or not LeBron's going to be able to change Embid. We'll come back to this. Okay. Low-hanging fruit, a recent still frame that I took. I'm not going to put it on the screen just so for the speed of moving along. But I saw ESPN reported that the Warriors said it was fine for them to have a gap year, a fucking gap year. Do you guys remember at any point in time a franchise saying it was okay for LeBron to have a gap year? Instead, and Curry's what, 38 now? For the last 6 years, when LeBron James was younger than Curry is now, we have been getting constant publications about LeBron's golden years being wasted. But with Curry, we're told to accept gap years. I'm so disgusted that I'm just going to let you guys talk about that, and then we'll move on. Oh, no. I'm going to complain some more. I have nothing to fucking look at. I have nothing to look forward to this sports year. Giants, shit. Niners, going to be shit. Warriors, we can't even pretend to hope. What the fuck? Okay, I'm done. For real. Really.
I think Speem said he's in the waiting room. There you go.
Hello there,
gentlemen.
Well, okay. Now that he's back, I have more bitching to do. No, I'm just
speaking of stuff to look forward to, I'm glad I'm here to save the show. I apologize for the last 17 minutes of whatever was being spewed.
I'm glad you're back, man.
Yeah. What was that? Your 17 minutes of parenting?
Yeah, that's funny. That's a good one. That's a good one. It's going right to the NAACP. Every single one of these.
No, but you know, it's actually true what you said about them, promoting this idea that they're wasting LeBron James' years when he was on the Lakers, some of those seasons. It's really laughable. Again, we talk about what actually happened during those seasons, the players they brought on and off that roster, all the moves that they made. I mean, they signed 4 different head coaches in 8 years. I mean, that's your organization trying to do something for you. That's them trying to make it happen. So when LeBron James, tries to make it seem, or they try to promote this idea that the Lakers, were wasting some of those seasons away, let's think about how LeBron James approached some of these seasons and some of the things that he did. Remember, there were several seasons there where LeBron James was heavily focused on passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So you remember that one season when he ended up playing like 56 games or whatever it was, he was attempting to chase the scoring title that season by playing the least amount of games he could play and still lead the league in scoring. And all while doing that, taking the craziest kinds of shots. Go look at the numbers. LeBron James was averaging, I believe it was 8 3-point attempts per game. LeBron James was taking 8 threes a game that season. That's because he was chasing the scoring record of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He wasn't playing to win. So they're going to say they were wasting his seasons. No, he wasted his seasons.
Yeah. I mean, that's a detail I left out. While they said that his seasons were being wasted, they were being forced to pull off miracles and constant moves in order to appease him. You can't say that about the Warriors.
Right. Exactly.
Welcome back, Speem Engine. Go ahead. Are you prepared to speak, or are you settling in here?
I'm settling in. I'm waiting for the 2-parent household Rich Paul talk. So,
well,
Steve, you be just straight like he be tunnel visioned, man. He be locking on one thing.
I tend to know what it is, Robin. I tend to focus in on the things that are ruining the human race exponentially. So that's where I'd like to go. I did rewatch that whole. It's harder for one person because of a 2-parent versus a 1-parent, and I'm thinking to myself, where are the present day athletes, the all-stars that do come from a 2-parent, household or a 1-parent, whatever, speaking up and saying, why is Rich Paul still talking about this?
Okay, that's the finale.
That's the
finale of the show, because we're gonna get real fucking dark.
Okay.
Let's take this moment to acknowledge some supers. This is just a messenger. Always good to have you here. MJ, his family, the fans, the Jazz, his teammates, LeBron, me. Yeah, that goes back to the opening clip that we did. Such a great clip.
Absolutely. Once again, a shout out to Justin Messenger. Shout out to everybody out there. Like I said, it continues to come through and support the live shows.
Continue sports and fitness rants by reading Callie Young.
Yeah, again, Callie Young, another true supporter, always coming through. Even LeBron's tears were fake. I mean, absolutely. Wet in your eyes, it might sting a little bit, that's what LeBron James had going on right there. And listen, man, we can all appreciate being excited and having a certain level of emotion, winning an NBA championship. But like you said, in these moments, like I said, LeBron James is going to get credit for the championship, man. He's going to get celebrated. He knows this, and yet he takes every opportunity to big himself up, to continue to pat himself on the back. Insane stuff, man.
I don't know why God gave me such a hard path of stacking my own teams and running anytime there was a challenge. I mean, what a delusional pile of trash.
Getting guys suspended.
Hey, you guys want to do something a little bit fun? You want to look at these assists from Jordan? Okay. All right, everybody.
I'm rolling.
You are always rolling. Hey, shout out to Sports and Fitness Rants for continuing to encourage people to be physically active in any way that they can. I was laughing. To that. I was laughing to myself how human beings have to bring half of their kitchen to the gym to survive a 40-minute fucking workout.
Yep.
I'd hate for you to die of malnourishment or dehydration.
Yeah. Not airways, man. It's a great idea to bring that up. And like I said, man, that's a great point. We all have funny stories, going to the gym or, some of the, gym culture stuff. It's laughable. Gym etiquette, these kinds of things. And I used to say it's the same thing all the time. I remember I used to work at the gym, man. And I tell you, people would be driving around the parking lot, man, looking for a place to, close to the park. And I used to laugh at these people, and I'm like, what's your mindset when you're going to the gym to exercise, and yet you're trying to find a closer parking spot? Is how lazy we are now?
I know. It's worse in California where you can't even blame the weather.
Right.
Robin, you're doing yourself a disservice, bro. You should be doing your podcast straight from the gym. I'm not even trying to make a joke.
You doesn't go to the gym?
My gym is where I do the videos. My backyard, the woods,
quote unquote urban
my
gym.
Garage.
He's always walking around
behind him
and punching stop signs and shit like that. I'm saying I think that you should be out there speaking to people. I'm saying you should be out there enlightening people as you're doing this crazy shit, jumping on top of cars and doing push-ups. I'm if you went out public and did this, I'm telling you, I'm joking, but I'm not. You'd kill it. It's just like the you over a GPS thing.
You know what this is like? This is like the homeless. This is like the homeless people. This is like the homeless people that I pass giving advice to everyone that goes by. Speam, you're telling Sports and Fitness Rants what he should do?
Yep. That's a race to it. Hurry up.
Do you think you could publish episode 5 from your channel?
You see the personal shots. You see the personal shots that he takes.
But Speam, I do workouts. Wherever I'm going, a lot of times I film on location and I do a lot of this stuff. A lot of people that know my channel, like I said, yeah, I'm not a big influencer. I don't get a lot of notoriety on my fitness side of things, but I do post a lot of videos of me doing these actual workouts, whether it's on, the block, next to my parents' house, or it's the woods, or like I said, it's my garage where I'm standing in right now, or my backyard, whatever it is. So I always show and prove the workouts that I tell people. It's like Michael Jordan said, right? The teammate said, he never asked us to do things he wasn't willing to do. The workouts and the things that I talk about on my channel are things that I've done myself for all these years. When I tell people I'm making smart nutritional choices and the ideas and how I continue to do this stuff, this all stuff I've been doing for years, man.
Well, this is kind of directed to Speam, so you want to read the super chat from Armando Ruiz? Thanks for being here,
Armando Ruiz. Off topic, which one of you distinguished sportsmen would be the first to bend the knee for a clutch check? Argue amongst yourselves. The last part's kind of blurry. Can you I'm picking Speam. Yeah, it'll never happen.
Ouch.
It'll not for me. It goes back to the whole I'll never wear his sneakers either. I don't care how dope they are. I'll never ever. I don't care if they're, whatever rung they get to at Burlington Coat Factory. It's not gonna it'll never happen.
Big difference, though. Even the cheap sneakers means costing you money versus you receiving money.
True.
Yeah, shout out to Armando Ruiz, man. Another true supporter. Like I said, who's been around for a minute now. Like I said, always coming through, supporting us. Yeah, like he knows the deal, man. You know, it's never going to be about the money or this clutch stuff. You know what I'm saying? Falling into the narratives and the lies, man. Again, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Shouting out all the fitness advice and things that, you know, that help them along the way, man. Thank you very much, guys.
I mean, he did give us a super. I guess we should vote. Got to choose somebody. I'm sorry, Spin, it's you.
There's no way. It's just not no documented way. That's fine. That's fine.
You have the least to lose.
That's
in
true.
The game.
Oh, that's so funny. Ain't no one taking it.
Johnny Mac with the super. Cyberius, go ahead, please.
Los Sus fans condone the Sixers letting Unclutch Sports run operations, calling it Black Power when Elton Brand, the GM, is black.
Well, that's a whole nother avenue that I wasn't even going to consider with that one. But it does bring us to one of the talking points we were thinking about fitting in today. How exactly did the 76ers decide that it was a good idea after watching the Lakers try to crawl out from under the shadow of Klutch Sports to do the exact same thing that they did? And I chatted with Cyberius a little bit about this offline, because you've got to think that there are additional contracts being made, something to do with the media, something about the Sixers getting a piece of LeBron's documentary, something that is making the owners a little side money while the franchise itself ultimately suffers. You can't make decisions this bad with this much evidence in front of you, or maybe you can. Let's spend 5 minutes on this and then keep going. Let's go top to bottom and around counterclockwise. Sports and fitness rants, Beam, Cyberius.
Well, you know what was funny? It's making me think about this story that I saw in an article that I read about, I believe it was the general manager, maybe it was the president of operations. I don't know who these people are, but one of these individuals, and a story that I saw, that he was so excited when he found out, when he got that text from Rich Paul that LeBron James was coming to the Sixers. And I guess like the text that they were saying that Rich Paul sent to this guy was Sixers it is, right? So I guess, you know, this is where we're coming, you know, blah, blah, blah. The first thing that he did, he said, was he ran and told his wife, who was like, I guess, upstairs or wherever she was in the house located. Like, he was so excited. He was like a kid in the candy store, man. He was pumped up, man. He ran and told his wife, he was like, babe, man, we got LeBron James. I can't believe it. Oh my God, it's insane stuff. You know, like, he was genuinely enthusiastic. I mean, the man was, ecstatic getting LeBron James to the team. So when you hear about, you know, Elton Brand or, you know, people who are representing who in the clutch thing and, you know, all this stuff and, you know, how genuinely excited, you know, is the organization overall. Apparently from this article, like I said, I don't know what it was, the general manager or whoever, they were very excited to get LeBron James, as if they're getting LeBron James.
Is this according
or something like that?
But is this according to Rich Paul, or is this according to something more legitimate?
No, so this was an interview with that guy. Like I said, I don't know if it was the GM or whoever got that text message from Rich Paul, but they were interviewing him, and this is what he said he did. He went and told his wife that they got LeBron James on the Sixers before he told anybody else on the team.
How long after the Knicks told him to fuck off did this happen? All right, Speem, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's just like everything else. It's performative. You know, to Robin's point, we're not seeing these reactions in real time. We're just hearing about them secondhand, right? And I don't know about you, but like when I'm excited for something, I don't go and tell that to somebody else, right? I just, you know, I experience said excitement and then I move on with my life. These guys are talking about, you know, the specific conversations that they had with their spouses. We've talked about how liars work, right? And how people, when they're trying to overcompensate, work. They get into specifics when they're not necessary. So for somebody to say, well, I had this conversation at this place at this time with this person, you know it's going to be a liar. You know it's going to be performative. I think one thing that people aren't paying attention to is I wouldn't be shocked if the next Creed movie had a LeBron James role in it. And I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Those, that franchise is on its way up, and Spring Hill Entertainment, the organization that LeBron's shadow runs, I wouldn't be shocked if we saw, a Creed film with him in it, or a Creed bullshit Space Jam crossover fucking movie. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if these things took place, because there still is a media presence that's available to LeBron James, not to mention he's going to live in New York, which has its own media expectations.
Wow. You know what, Spain, as crazy as that is, I think you might have touched on something. And, this is a good chance to switch to talking to Cyberius, because you and PMR talked about Spring Hill arriving on the scene in the NBA just about the same time as The Decision, which introduced a shift in dismantling someone for behaving like LeBron and supporting it. Go ahead.
Well, so it's funny that Speen brings that up, because I think The Decision has to be about monetary game and endorsement incentives, like when AD was in Space Jam 2. So it's funny that you bring up the Creed franchise, which has been growing. There have been more sequels too, and he will shoehorn himself into that, as he shoehorns himself into everything.
Well, hey, LeBron fans think LeBron could beat Mike Tyson,
They do.
They do. At what?
But the reality is they're prioritizing money over winning, which has just become the new norm.
Here's a poll.
The 76ers have to know from watching the Lakers, winning isn't the objective here. It's the circus. And now Shaq has joined that circus.
Who's a better reader, Mike Tyson or LeBron James?
Mike Tyson.
Tyson, we've seen him do it. We've documented him reading before. We have not for LeBron. It's like the big site.
The Black Power thing, I didn't even hear.
But at least Mike Tyson was charismatically stupid. All right, you still got behind Mike Tyson. I mean, how many boxers are smart or intellectuals? These are some of the dumbest guys around, and that's no knock on them. That's the facts, man. Those guys are great at what they do, man. So, but Mike Tyson was at least cool about it, man. Like I said, he was a scary guy, Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? Like a legit scary dude, man.
I don't know if he was cool, but he was so scary that it was fine. With LeBron James, I can actually picture myself talking shit to. I wouldn't say a goddamn thing to Mike Tyson ever.
Charismatically stupid.
Like, when he says, I broke my back, it's spinal. Like, you can't help but laugh at that. But when LeBron James says, and starts making up all these weird quotes and jacking up all these phrases, we laugh at this stuff.
Not for nothing. I've seen somebody in the chat over the last few episodes say the A-all or B-all of it all.
Right.
And I didn't know what that was until I saw LeBron James say that in an interview. He was trying to say the end-all, be-all. But I never knew that happened. And now it's
like 2 months worth of content that you missed.
Yeah. I don't know. Nothing surprises me anymore. I don't know. It's like I'm completely just numb to it.
I got to push the show forward. Red Factor says, why isn't JJ Redick fired from the Lakers? I kind of hoped that they would clean house all the way. Here's my answer really quick, is that they don't want to be simultaneously paying 5 coaches that aren't there.
That's an excellent point.
And you know what's funny? This will actually be the first season that they can actually, judge and gauge how good of a coach JJ Redick actually is. When LeBron James is actually not on your team jacking it up. I mean, this will be his first time actually being able to coach.
That's true.
Jimmy James. That's a good one. Go ahead, sports. Fans.
Yo, shout out to Jimmy James. Again, another familiar name always coming through. LeBron can defend 1 through 6 of his finals losses. Great, fantastic stuff.
And there's another reason I called on you. This is a screenshot I wanted to put up, but it's not necessary. You mentioned LeBron being able to play 1 through 5, but why didn't he do something about Dirk? Why hasn't he done anything about him? I mean, he didn't do anything about Gobert, much less Dirk, for fuck's sakes.
Right.
Some of these things don't need to be discussed, but shout out to you for spending on time on things that I just too disgusting.
You know what's sad though? Actually, along those lines, I don't know if you guys saw, but apparently Tony Allen, had a backtrack on his, comments because the LeBron James fans were coming after him. I mean, these are the kinds of things that we're talking about. Guys backtracking, guys feeling a certain kind of way, or kind of like walking back something they say or trying to soft soap it after the fact. Even Tom Brady, if you remember from a year or so ago, he made some comments, listed all these great players from all these sports as the GOATs of GOATs. And he never named LeBron James. And we all laughed. I mean, this man was naming divers. He was naming everybody every sport you could think of. Never named LeBron. I mean, he even named women athletes. Never named LeBron James. And then a couple of days later or weeks later, whatever it was, he's on that platform with LeBron James. And he's like, yeah, man, you guys don't know. You're witnessing the greatest player of all time right here. Like, come on, Tom Brady. And I said in the video, you're Tom Brady. You don't need LeBron James. You don't need his people. You're freaking Tom Brady, dude. So why would you need LeBron James money? Why would you need LeBron James, people coming out here and backing you up? You don't need LeBron James. You have your own fans. You have your own fame. You have your own legacy.
You guys okay with me pushing forward?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's put these assists. I made that video making fun of Rich Paul calling Jordan selfish with a longer video. This is just the assists. And I went and I looked at the box score. Jordan's box score from that series is insane. We'll talk about that after we look at the video. But I noticed something. He looks like he has more assists than what the box score gave him credit for, which is a really interesting juxtaposition against what's happening now with people receiving assists that they don't deserve. And Uncut Hoops' video shows some assists that even made the assists I pointed out seem mild in comparison to the absurdity level. But here's my challenge to the people watching and to you panelists. Out of these assists that you're going to see, you're going to have to try and guess which ones they didn't count. This is a replay of the same.
That definitely counted.
Okay, replay of that one.
I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't count that.
All right, I wouldn't have counted that.
I would say, yeah, that one was as well.
There's Cartwright, Paxson.
Definitely.
Stacey King, who just checked in. Paxson, eluding Barkley.
I don't think they would count that.
Sometimes goes unnoticed. They brought this guy off the bench to get the call. Armstrong for three. Tonight.
Oh, yeah,
Armstrong passed on the three.
Nope, I don't think they count that either.
And the third one were the only ones that I feel like could be argued.
That was a nice fake, though.
I know. I included the slow motion of that because
that was a nice ass fake,
and he didn't have to carry the ball to do it.
That was nice.
Okay, so you got 9 passes that led directly, well, semi-directly to scoring, and we're gonna have to remove a minimum. Was that 9 or 10? But they only gave him 7, so it's either the Pippen ones, where Pippen made a move or two, or I don't know. But
the Paxson one, yeah, I would say definitely the pack. There was a Paxson, maybe like 1 or 2 of John Paxson's where he made the pump fake. But some of these, like you say, the reason why John Paxson was able to make that pump fake and for it to be effective is because the defense is running out him because of the help defense that's being played. But some of those to me were questionable.
Wait, AOH, that one was an assist?
Well, here's
and the Rockets are much more intentional about running direct action for him.
Here, this is the thing. They didn't do play-by-play back then, so I can't actually go look. We have to guess which ones they counted or didn't. Or, maybe I should ask for help. Maybe there's a resource out there that will give me access to how exactly they kept the box score. But today we have the play-by-play, and I can go and look at what they said was an assist and show everyone that it's not. And then there's these examples that we're going to see from Uncut, where you just have to laugh. I mean, look at what we're debating, that Paxson took a fucking dribble, and we're not going to give Jordan credit for that assist. And now watch.
Right.
And the Rockets are much more intentional about running direct action for him without Kevin Durant.
Yeah, see, none of them were that egregious.
There was like 12 seconds of gameplay between pass and shot.
Thompson's going to become an all-star. Kennard finds
Not
a
even
room,
close.
knocks down another.
The worst one was probably the PJ Armstrong.
109 days old, the oldest guy ever with 10 assists in an entire game, much less a half.
It's all a fugazi. You know what a fugazi is? Fugazi. It's fake.
When looking at basketball discourse,
right.
that was routinely when it's assist.
Thompson gets inside and gets the roll. Falling for it. Mozgov backs in, leaves in, layup is good.
You have to be fucking shitting me. And that's 2015, man.
That's a bad one. That was a bad one right there. That Mozgov one, that was pretty bad.
That was a strong ass move for a dude that had no help, by the way.
Yeah, Mozgov was a big motherfucker.
Yeah.
Those guys, they said they stepped up, man. Did they play amazing? Were they amazing? No, they weren't amazing players. So how could they play amazing? But what they did do is they played above their heads. Dellavedova, a lot of those guys, but why don't you remember it that way? You know why you don't remember it that way? Because LeBron James folded up. LeBron James ain't stopped someone like Andre Iguodala when it mattered most. He went out there and fumbled it up at the end of these games. So you don't remember their performances. Go look at some of the numbers that Mozgov put up in that finals. Go look and watch some of the video footage of what Dellavedova was doing to Steph Curry, who was the MVP of the league that season. You had a second-string guy, Matthew Dellavedova, who they clown now and they laugh about. Oh, who's Matthew Dellavedova? Who was Judd Bushler? Who was Steve Kerr? Who was John Paxson? They were the same freaking guys, man. But you remember them differently because Michael Jordan didn't choke it up in 96. He didn't choke it up in 97. LeBron James choked it up when they were up 2-1. So you don't remember Dellavedova's performance and how he was forcing Steph Curry to go out there and earn it, man. And he was forcing him to all those turnovers. The man was on oxygen on the side. He was putting in the freaking effort, and they clown him for that now.
And shout out to Paxson because, man, when that guy came in, he delivered. But John Paxson was averaging 4 points a game when he was acquired as a free agent. He did not exist until he got to the Bulls.
Yep, right. Yep. Exactly.
Yep.
Journeyman.
Shoot, I'm sorry, where did it go? I had a super here no, it's not a super. It was a regular chat, but somebody said they disagree with me. The Niners are going to win 11 games. Well, it's nice to hear something positive. I wasn't expecting that level of positivity. Guys, I was jogging instead of on the beach past stores and bars and saw football on the fucking screen already. It's already that time. That's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah,
already preseason coming.
Yeah,
Bears.
I'm a football fan too. That's getting ready to start.
Bears fans in the chat. All right, a little more football talk. Do you guys want to?
The San Francisco 49ers historically have been a great franchise, man. They have been a competitive franchise consistently. So when you talk about overall, if you're a San Francisco 49ers fan living in that area or, wherever you live, if you're a fan of the Niners, you've had something consistently, to root for over the years, man. They really have been like that.
Yeah, but it also increases your expectations, and then you wonder, what are you doing now?
Yep. Right. Exactly.
Lynetta with an alert, 440 joules. Thank you. Eyal Sabag, always good to see you with a very kind super chat. Speemigen, Care to read that?
I also bog. I watched the Miami Celtics series, Eastern Conference Finals of 2012. Celtics were so washed and old, it's amazing they got 3 games off. The Miami super team. Also, Shane Battier, a much better defender than LeBron. And yeah, Shane Battier, man, I couldn't stand his ass either back in the day. But yeah, one hell of a pesky defender.
Yeah, and they don't even mention these additions that took place after the Heat failed despite having a super team, and they continued to add to that roster on defense and offense.
Yep.
And hey,
Yep.
I kind of hate to do this, but I got to mention, and I don't know why this is still showing up in my feed, because I've said many times I don't want to see it, but it just shows the benefit of being a Klutch Sports sycophant. I saw a post by FYF that I did not watch, but that's your boy Robin, and he was claiming that 2011 was not a failure.
Oh my gosh! I tell
we
you
don't
what.
we don't have to talk about that, but I had to have a laugh at his expense. What a clown!
I tell you, man, that trash content over there on that dude's platform. The same guy that was promoting Scottie Pippen being arguably a top 10 player all time. All kinds of nonsensical takes.
Yeah. In the rare moments, Scottie actually got on the floor, which more and more we're realizing he was barely available. Cyberius, our buddy Jolly Joshams with a super, if you'd like to read it.
Jolly Jossum's coming through. Thank you, sir. A bit off topic, but did any of you see those old NBA handles videos by Wilt Chamberlain Archives? I absolutely did. I am convinced players in the 50s and 60s were both better athletes and had higher basketball IQ than players now, without question. What I loved about that video is they were trying to trash Bob Cousy like he couldn't play today because of, especially back then, you weren't supposed to dribble with your right and go left because you were closer, your dribbling hand was closer to the defender. And they're trying to say, oh, no, he couldn't do that. You think, Cousy could play in the modern NBA. He does, basically saying he doesn't have the handles. Ridiculous. To even say that is ridiculous. But that's a great point.
Yeah, shout out to Jolly Joshams for bringing up the Wilt Chamberlain archive because we've actually done and we've actually had the Wilt Chamberlain archive on our live show before. So shout out to my man over at the Wilt Chamberlain archive and the work he continues to do. And remember, these are the kinds of platforms and the people that I'm telling you guys about that I listen to, that I've gained more an appreciation from players in the past over the last several years that I've been on YouTube. Remember, someone like him, like I told you guys, I don't consider myself a historian of the game. The guy who runs the Wilt Chamberlain archive, he considers himself a true historian of the game. That's his platform. He's giving you and doing the research and the facts. So when you talk about the dribbling aspect of these guys from back in the day, this is why we're telling you guys, and we talk about them being pioneers. And how did you see Jordan didn't play anybody? Not being that great or skilled when they were held to a higher standard back in those days.
It also further reflects the laziness of the superstars today, Robin. I mean, you have someone like a Ja Morant who is just naturally athletically gifted, right? Jumps out of the building, but just doesn't do anything with that athleticism other than, the sellies, right? And all the bullshit. You have someone like a Zion Williamson, just naturally athletically gifted. Every offseason we see the picture of him using the same filter as Stephen A. Smith, looking vascular and fucking ripped and jacked and just physically gifted. And then, the season comes in and it's like, all right, well, all that's cool. Now what? For everything that they say about the plumbers and the electricians back in the day, yeah, they're available though, is the thing. And these dudes are just pissing away just natural athleticism, just fucking around and not taking it serious.
Yep, exactly.
A couple of people shouting you out in the chat, Robin, for motivating them to get off the couch.
Once again, thank you very much, guys. It means a lot, when people talk about, the things that I've helped them do or motivate them to go out and move more. And like I said, fight against that laziness. Like I said, that really means a lot. So thank you very much, everybody out there, man.
One thing on that real quick is I don't know if people realize how helpful physical fitness is to your cognitive ability. One of the reasons why my brain works as well as it does, despite having 3 traumatic brain injuries, is because I exercise 5-6 days a week.
Absolutely.
And if I didn't do that, the reality is my brain would not work as well as it does.
Yeah, sometimes I wonder if just people don't have that need. Like I literally had to get in a run this morning to be able to sit here and focus on the show.
It's the only way I can do it.
That's right. That's a great point. Cyberius hitting him right there, man. It is. It's not just about the physical, guys. It's not just about the physical.
Well, we're getting through the topics pretty quickly. Maybe I'm going too quickly.
Oh, I think we're going to dive deep into that Rich Paul shit. So,
are we ready?
I mean, I want to. Oh, go ahead.
That wasn't me you interrupted. It was Cyberius.
Go ahead, Cyberius. My fault, man.
No. Go ahead. I'm just saying I'm ready to talk about it if you guys are.
Well, but the handles and the dribbles, you can easily equate this back to real life. Just go out to the basketball court and try to do everything that you do with your hand on top of the ball. Try to play basketball with the limitations that players used to be held to.
It's almost impossible.
Yeah, you are going to look goofier than they did. I guarantee it.
Yep.
That shit's not easy. These guys are like taking sandwich breaks in between dribbles now, resting the ball on their hip, and then we're supposed to be impressed that they made a sidestep move. I mean, you're practically a football running back at this point.
Well, the craziest part about that is you see those in the highlights now, AOH. So they slow down how bad it is. It used to be that they tried to hide it. Now it's right there for you to see.
It's all relative. Like Allen Iverson blurred the line, but now compared to today, it's like, well, Allen Iverson looks legal compared to now.
For sure. Well, I mean, one of the clips that Dan showed in that video was LaMelo Ball, and he went 20 feet off one dribble because his hand is on the side of the ball. It's almost pressed against its hip. It's like, dude, you're not playing basketball anymore. It might as well be a football or a rugby ball because you're just running down the court.
Tim Hardaway rolling over in his grave. He's still alive, but he's rolling over in his grave.
You guys are right. I mean, listen, we're talking about here with the 50s and the 60s. No one's saying that, we want the standard to go back to the 50s or the 60s where, like the Will Chamberlain archive highlighted in that video, how strict I mean, these guys couldn't move their hand on the side of the ball, not even slightly, guys. There were no pauses in their dribbles. None of it. They couldn't cross over like that. It was very unique when they talk about they couldn't dribble with this hand or that hand. No, it's because they were going to get called for violations, whether it was or not. So no one wants their standard to be like that. What we're saying is if you think about how the standard was in the 90s, you mentioned Allen Iverson where he blurred the line between carrying or palming the ball, and not during these crossovers when someone like Isaiah Thomas or the Tim Hardaways seemed to have a little bit more control over where their hand was. But the balance of the officiating is what they need to get back to, where they actually did call guys for travels and carries or, some of these other violations. So that's where you need to get it back
to. Ruthless Raider says, did they count LeShit Swirl? Assisting himself with the worst finals performance ever by a so-called superstar.
Shout out to Ruthless Raider 78 coming through with the super coming through the chat. That means a lot. Yeah, I mean LeBron James had some pretty bad performances, but they always promote it in a different way. See, that's the thing. They'll tell you Michael Jordan choked in '96 in a finals that he won, but then they'll say that LeBron James did not choke in 2011. It was the coach's fault, or he was in a dark place. He's telling us now, all these years later. They only had minimum guys there. Whatever the case may be, they're gonna make up some weird scenario. They played a zone defense that Michael Jordan wouldn't know what to do. I mean, I've heard all kinds of nonsensical things about that series. These are all excuses for the performance that, LeBron James continues. I mean, we were just talking before about the guys from back in the day. These guys were playing like 3 games in a row. You know what I'm saying? 4 games in 5 days. I mean, they were doing all kinds of crazy things back in them days, guys. They were held to a much difficult, harder standard.
Back-to-backs in the same day.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Even I was noticing the 93 finals didn't have these extreme breaks in between games. What was the longest break we saw between some playoff games this year? Like 4 fucking days?
I think 4 days, yeah.
Yeah, they'd have some stretches.
Steam Engine. Thank you, Red Factor. Steam Engine, you want to read Red Factor?
Shout out to Red Factor 216. I know for a fact that those players in the 50s and 60s would wash 90% of this league merely based on durability alone. They played all 82 games. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. That grown man strength. They had grown man strength. Like I said, these guys were grown. They had to be. The grown-ups were held to a higher standard back in the day. So for you to consider yourself a grown man, for society to view you and look at you as a grown adult, you were held to a higher standard. There were no excuses, man. Like I said, when you think about the reality of the 50s, regardless of the color of your skin, life was harsher, man. Life was harder. You were held to a higher standard, man. You couldn't get away with the nonsense these guys get away with today. Guys weren't working from home. They were out busting their ass, man. You know what I'm saying? You were doing and dealing with other things. Like I said, when you hear the stories of maybe your grandfather, I didn't know my grandfathers. They died before I was even around. But if you hear stories from some of these people back in the day, even my father, he's like, yeah, I walked to school uphill both ways and we did all these crazy things. Yeah, a lot of this stuff is true. The life was harder for them. They were put through the fire much more than the people of today. So by default, they had to be tougher. Money wasn't guaranteed for them like this. If you're busting your butt on the side for a side job, right, and you're getting paid and for basketball, you got to go out there and play. That's the only way you're going to get paid, man. You got to show up, man. You got to earn a check. These guys don't got to earn nothing now.
Robin, I think what you just did was explain exactly why, like, our demographic, this generation gets so pissed about today's just athletes in general is, like, we come from a place of like, you work for shit to get it. You don't take a shortcut. Meanwhile, there's these dudes in the league now that literally just get paid to take a shortcut and to promote taking a shortcut. So I think that's where so much of our frustration comes in. Is it's not just sports; it's an actual lifestyle. We're trying to defend here.
Once upon a time, you could just ignore or brush off extreme stupidity, and it would take care of itself. It would go away. It's not going away. In fact, it's being rewarded, and therefore the old schooler realizing, well, shit, we can't just expect this to go away on its own.
Right.
Wolfsbane says modern handles just look smoother now, not harder. Yeah, cheating makes quite an impact.
Cheating helps.
Oh, goodness gracious.
All right,
so true.
There's one topic that was on the list that I didn't talk about yet, and that's the continued professing that LeBron James's presence is what's going to make people who might have attitude problems better. And recently I saw somebody mention Jordan and Rodman, whereas that was clearly a success. Jordan was about to disappear from the league. Rodman was about to disappear from the league, and Jordan and the Bulls found a way to make it work. Now, if we just go to recent history, I can think of a claim that DeAndre Ayton was going to be the best version of himself because of LeBron.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Heard
Luka
that.
was going to be the best version of himself because of LeBron.
Yep.
And now it's Embiid's going to be the best version of himself because of LeBron. No matter what happens this year, where are the consequences when your bold claims don't end up being true? Because it's really saying that, no, LeBron is not a positive influence when things don't work out. But they continue to just make bold claims, and it doesn't matter if there's nothing to substantiate those claims. When is there ever going to be a counter to waiting on the other side in case it does work out and jumping all over that, meaning, look what LeBron did. And saying, oh shit, look what LeBron did in a negative way. Never happens. Just keep LeBron James is going to solve world hunger. It'll never happen, but they'll say it. And, you know, LeBron fans will be like, oh, you know what? He might.
What's interesting about your question, AOH, is that I think we are expecting there to be some semblance of critical thought on the other end of that, right?
Well,
that's what you're thinking. Well, let me rephrase. Okay, let me rephrase. It would be nice if that were to happen. All right. But I think what's interesting is not only does it not happen, they use it as a way to spin him as an MVP contender, because when he leaves Team A, that team that, you know, we'll say the Cavs, for example, they immediately fall back into obscurity. And they use that as a way to say, well, look what happens when LeBron leaves. He's got to be the MVP. Look what happens. This team bottoms out. But what nobody talks about is the reason as to why it bottoms out. Not because he left, not because he left and took all his talents. It's because he took the entire infrastructure that was built for him and just took it somewhere else. So obviously the team's going to be left with nothing. We'll never see that happen, because they'll always spin it into having something to do either his age or that team's deficiencies in terms of not giving him what he needed to make them a contender, which is a paradox in itself, because I thought he was the missing piece. How is he the missing piece if the team has to give him shit when he gets there? It's like you say this shit out loud, and it literally is a paradox. You talk yourself into a corner, and that's what Klutch does, and they just lie to get out of it.
Keep it rolling, Jeff. I'll be right back.
It's the entire narrative of his career, getting credit for things he never actually did. I mean, how many times have we all heard the narrative, oh, LeBron makes his teammates better? Prove it to me one time.
Right.
Because if he did, you should be able to show it. You should be able to demonstrate it. You know, you guys like stats and, you know, and accolades so much. Well, where are those numbers now? Show one person that joined LeBron's team, or actually no, because that never happens. Show someone from a team LeBron joined that improved after he got there. Can it be done? I don't think it can. So why would it be any different of, you know, he's the missing piece, and then lo and behold, he's not the missing piece, but he'll still get credit for it. Any success that the Sixers have, which isn't going to be any, I genuinely don't believe it will, but any success that they do have, whether it's Jaylen Brown, which I think would have to play a huge role in it. I was going to say Maxey, Edgecombe. I mean, Embid, he hardly ever plays. LeBron hardly ever plays. How the hell? I mean, I don't see how they're going to be a huge factor. I don't think Embid was a huge factor in the 76ers getting as far as they did in the playoffs last year. He played 38 games. Like, what role did you play? But did you hear about Maxey? Did you hear about Edgecombe in that? So they're just, I mean, LeBron's just going to get, and then when it fails, and they will, he's not going to get any of the blame. Again, just like always. So, I mean, what? They're talking out of both sides of their mouth.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys are on the money with that stuff, man. I mean, listen, you know, part of the problem, you know, for LeBron James, you know, like you guys were talking about, is that he genuinely doesn't make the people around him greater. There's no way that you can actually definitively say, yeah, what LeBron James does on the court, it actually raises up everyone else. You can't point to development, you know, from other players throughout the years. LeBron James himself has needs to surround himself, not with young talent, not with up-and-coming stars, with established veterans, guys that had been there and done that, guys that played on teams that were competitive, guys that had played and had established roles that are supposed to know what they're there to do. The minimum guys. That's what LeBron James always had. A lot of these guys that people dismiss now Go look at their resumes and some of the teams that even someone like Richard Jefferson that we clown on. And yeah, his takes, the way that he talks about and promotes LeBron James, terrible stuff here. But go look at his resume before he played with LeBron and the Cleveland Cavaliers. He had 2 years on the New Jersey Nets when he went to back-to-back NBA Finals, man, when he first came in the league. And one of those finals, one of those seasons, he was the starter for that finals. So he had experience. You had guys that had been perennial perennial playoff teams, all this stuff, man. So a lot of the guys that people laugh at that LeBron James had in his team, right? They'll laugh at somebody, oh, he had this guy, he had that guy, and they'll say, oh, those guys were, XYZ age, or they were a certain age. But those guys, once again, were there to do a certain job. They weren't there to be the main guys. They weren't there to be the stars anymore. They were there to play a role. And at the time, the role that those guys needed to play, those guys were awesome. We mentioned Shane Battier before. He played that role massive. Mike Miller played the role. The guy was a Rookie of the Year winner, but he's playing the role at that time. Guys like Shane Battier, when Battier played in the league, he was known as one of the elite defensive wings of his era. That's what he was. But, when LeBron James fans talk about him, he was just some guy that was 3-and-D. No, he was one of the premier 3-and-D guys in the league.
You just said it right there. You don't think there's one team that wouldn't absolutely want Mike Miller on their team right now, Robin, as a spot-up 3-and-D shooter? He would make or break so many teams in the league right now, and he was a throwaway player. Actually, one of the ones who still hoists LeBron up, on his little trophy case. He was a throwaway player for him. Any team would love to have a Mike Miller, right? And he, just more help. It's discarded.
Well, that's
that
all.
Ray Allen addition is really slept on. That's a slept on addition of the Miami freaking Heat, guys. I mean, you got Ray Allen on top. We always talk about, they had Wade and Bosh and what that did for the Eastern Conference. Well, you happen to add Ray Allen onto that same squad. And again, I don't want to hear about Ray Allen's freaking age, because what you needed him to do at the time that you needed him to do it, he was fantastic for that role. And we all know what he did when you needed him to do it. He played his role. And the dude moonwalked into a three-pointer, tiptoed the line, and knocked it down. And they talk about these guys. Oh, yeah, those guys were old. This guy wasn't that. No, those guys were out there doing what they had to do. And then they'll tell you, yeah, man, if it wasn't for Steve Kerr and John Paxson, Michael Jordan wouldn't have those championships.
Was Ray Allen not the league leader in three-pointers at that time, too? Steph Curry hadn't taken over him at that point, right?
No.
You're right.
So he had the league leader in three-pointers made on his squad in Ray Allen, another throwaway player.
Look, they went out and got Mike Miller. They spent money on Mike Miller. It wasn't oh, well, shit, I guess we'll take you. They went and pursued him and spent significant money on Mike Miller, and yet he doesn't even get mentioned.
Nope.
And the other thing that's not mentioned is everyone on the roster that still remained from the championship team.
Right.
I mean, you don't even mention Udonis Haslem, and yet he was a core piece of the Miami Heat. Anyway,
listen, I wanted to mention one thing that it made me think about it at the beginning of the live show. You showed Cyberius. You had a segment where you were talking about that clip, and you had Michael Jordan talking to Ahmad Rashad, and he was talking about the finals, and he was talking about the city of Chicago, and we and us and all this stuff. It made me think about what's going on, and someone like Shannon Sharp bringing up Ahmad Rashad currently. And how, how come no one talks about Ahmad Rashad and how he was, Michael Jordan's, hype man or whatever he wanted to call Ahmad Rashad back in the day. And it made me think about how these guys are definitely listening to our content, because we've talked and mentioned Ahmad Rashad several times on our shows. I've mentioned Ahmad Rashad several times recently in my videos over the years in reference, the comparisons to look at Ahmad Rashad acted for Michael Jordan in relation to a Shannon Sharp. Did you ever see Ahmad Rashad on the sidelines of a Michael Jordan's Detroit Pistons Chicago Bulls game, and he's trying to throw punches with one of the Detroit Pistons guys because he got all upset? But we saw Shannon Sharp on the sidelines, acting all crazy until Steven Adams walked up. Then he wanted no smoke. But we've seen him act a fool for LeBron James. But the main point that I wanted to bring up, when he tries to throw Ahmad Rashad under the bus and bring up Ahmad Rashad, who always carried himself with class. I don't give a damn what Shannon Sharpe wants to say about Ahmad Rashad and his relationship with Michael Jordan. Ahmad Rashad never took away from Larry Bird or Magic Johnson or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to lift up Michael Jordan in any of these segments. You never saw him talking nonsense about the guys that Michael Jordan played against. He never downplayed Charles Barkley or any. He hyped up the era. He was part of the golden era, Ahmad Rashad. He was there to lift that era up. He never took away from the history of the game to promote Michael Jordan, man. And that's what Shannon Sharpe has continued to do. And that's what he's missing.
Yeah, and Ahmad Rashad wasn't selling erectile dysfunction products and accidentally releasing sex videos of himself and getting shamed in public about needing to hook up with a fucking OnlyFans that he wanted to walk around on a leash. Yeah, things have kind of fallen off, haven't they? But yeah, let's shit on Ahmad Rashad. Jesus Christ.
Insane
Shannon,
stuff. Like
why
said,
is
man.
Shannon Sharpe on TV still? I mean, what the fuck is wrong with this world?
Shannon Sharpe is the most for sale individual in sports media, maybe including Shaq. I've never seen someone hoe themselves out for a paycheck like this so publicly, so quickly in my entire life.
Well, and how many payouts has he had? Like $10 million payouts to these women for their, SA allegations.
Right.
Well, that's who we should keep on the screen.
Again, always having to take away from someone else. Like I said, trying to take away from someone like Ahmad Rashad and the legacy that he left. Like I said, as part of the golden era, let's take away from Ahmad Rashad by trying to compare what he was doing and how he promoted and was in his relationship with Michael Jordan and related to what you do for LeBron James. Get the hell out of here, man. You ain't Ahmad Rashad.
There it is. It was actually you, Sports and Fitness Rants. You posted something. These classic covers. That's what made me remember that there was questions. Oh, right. Will the Bulls be able to tame Rodman?
I read an article recently, and again, man, Dennis Rodman is one of my favorite players. I read his book when I was in high school. I actually did a book report on his book. He was one of my favorite players. Dennis Rodman. I know Cyberius. That was one of Cyberius' favorite players. Also. The thing with I saw an article recently about Michael Jordan and Dennis Rodman's relationship, and we've all heard Dennis Rodman talk about how he never hung out with with Michael Jordan or Scottie Pippen off the court. They weren't like friends like that or any of those kinds of things. I also saw something about Dennis Rodman saying that he never wore Michael Jordan sneakers or any of these things. But what was interesting about the dynamic is the understanding they had was a mutual respect for each other and a competitive fire. Dennis Rodman, one of the great competitors in NBA's history, and in the article it talked about Dennis Rodman was certifiable, man. And now he could have been someone that was maybe diagnosed with maybe someone like, ADHD or something like that, where it was hard to get him to focus at a time. So when you talk about, if you watch the dynamic between Michael Jordan and Dennis Rodman over the years, what did you guys notice during those times? A lot of times, Michael Jordan had to physically grab Dennis Rodman. It wasn't words. He had to physically grab him, whether he was pulling him away from an altercation or ejection or a technical foul. But I saw also instances where you saw Michael Jordan grab Dennis Rodman by his face like this and turn his face and eyes directly to him and say and speak to him in a manner where he needed him to be focused in this instance. I specifically posted a video a couple of years ago. I can't remember which files it was, maybe 97 or 98, that Michael Jordan actually did this at the end of the game when they were in the huddle. He physically grabbed Dennis Rodman by his face and made him stare him dead in his eyes. And he said whatever he needed to say to him to get him to focus.
Well, that would be a lawsuit today, huh?
That speaks to the greatness of him, man. Like, of Dennis Rodman. The man wore a wedding dress, and not one of us mentions that because he got to be.
Well, of course, you're the one that did.
Well, no, what I'm saying is he got to be with Carmen Electra when she was at her baddest, and he got to be a champion, and he got to wrestle Karl Malone like in a professional wrestling event. Like, just he was bigger than basketball too, to an extent.
Yep,
he was. He was.
Remember, he wore that dress to promote the book that I was just talking about earlier. Bad as I Want to Be, if I remember correctly, was the name of the book. And like I said, when you think about Dennis Rodman and how he promoted his book, it was Dennis Rodman being Dennis Rodman. If you think about someone like Scottie Pippen and how he promoted or tried to promote his book, he tried to promote it through click titles and, catchphrases and hot takes. Oh, man, Scottie Pippen got to tell a whole book on Michael Jordan, man.
Right.
He's going to give you the real facts about the Chicago Bulls and the Last Dance documentary. That's how he promoted his book.
You didn't even mention Madonna.
Nope.
Shit, I forgot.
She was fucking huge.
In her prime.
Yeah.
Remember, all that off-the-court stuff, this is what I always say. When you think about all the off-the-court stuff, whatever people want to talk about, Dennis Rodman showed up on the court. You can never say, maybe Dennis Rodman didn't spend so much time in Hollywood and with all these chicks and doing all this crazy stuff. Maybe he could have a little bit better. You can't say that with Dennis Rodman. He showed up on the court and he showed up off the court.
That's what I'm saying. He balled out when he was like, there was no question of his heart, of his motor, or how badly he wanted to play basketball. That's my point. There's like with these other dudes, it's like, are they promoting themselves or the sport? Like, no, Rodman was out there as an undersized rebounder doing the damn thing, but also doing this crazy shit off the court. It speaks to his greatness again.
We have quite a few viewers right now, and you've already missed some good topics, those of you who have just recently rolled in. We're getting ready to well, I'm gonna pick on this guy in particular, a Muppet who acted like a puppet and made an actual specific effort to make sure he was on camera celebrating Rich Paul's stupidity. But we've got supers to get to. And I'm going to put this back up on the screen while we go through some supers. Modern Handles, we read that. Ruthless Raider is back with another super. Will the scrotum sweat eventually bring Bronny and his electrifying YMCA skill set to Philly? Yeah, I don't have time to worry about that. I've already seen some claims that it was taking place and then it didn't take place. You guys,
know what I want to speak to real quick is how when they're talking about LeBron James and going to Philadelphia and what his role is going to look like, they're promoting him as the point guard. And I'm hearing a lot of talk about the last time LeBron James, quote unquote, played point guard. He led the league in assists. And to me, it's laughable. And I need people to understand something. And we need to come to this understanding. LeBron James has, quote unquote, been the point guard his entire career, man. That's what we've been talking about. He's been allowed to dominate the basketball, make all the passes, take all the shots. Just because he wasn't listed at point guard and he was listed at small forward all those years or whatever he was listed at, doesn't mean he wasn't actually the point guard. So when they talk about him playing point guard, the average certain amount of assists, it's laughable to me, man.
You see him on the screen right now? He could be playing point guard.
Yep.
He could be playing the five. He doesn't change what he does.
Is he going to guard the point guards? That's what I want to know. Is he going to bend his knees and slide his feet and guard the point guards of the NBA?
No. Oh, my God.
Remember, when Michael Jordan was 40 years old, man, and this is why these comparisons can continue to get exposed over and over and over again in all these aspects. When he was 40 years old, like I said, with the knee and everything, all that stuff going on, as last season, Michael Jordan on the Wizards was listed at small forward. This man went out there and guarded all of these guys. He went toe-to-toe with them dudes, man. He went out there and backed it up on the basketball court. He gave the effort. LeBron James ain't going out there and guard. You think LeBron James at 40 years old is going to guard Paul Pierce? He's going to guard Prime Kobe Bryant, Tracy McGrady, Ray Allen? He's going to go toe-to-toe with them dudes? No, he's not. Vince Carter.
Hey, do point guards have to box out? Because I don't. Are you? I think LeBron thinks it means don't box out. But if we go back to the assist video that we watched of Uncut Hoops from earlier, imagine how that translates to having the lineup on Philly that you do. Just throw the ball to the left or to the right and let them make a 7-point move play. Everyone on the team's way better than you are, and you're going to be heralded as the point guard because you threw the ball to someone who was able to create their own shot.
Yeah, I won't even doubt if they try to get LeBron James to lead the league in assists this season if he does, in fact, get listed at point guard for the Sixers this year.
Probably.
Yeah, how's he going to play point guard if he's still at the other end? Is he going to lead? Is he going to lead in assists or in transition points?
He'll lead the league in successful inbounds. They'll make a new stat. Inbound led to points. LeBron will lead the league in that.
Right. So what does this do for someone like Tyrese Maxey, who we all saw last season needed the ball in his hands a lot? He took a lot of shots last year. He was one of the top scorers in the NBA. What does this do for someone like Jaylen Brown? Guys who need the ball in their hand. This is what I'm saying. Like, LeBron James' style isn't. LeBron James has never changed his style. You guys mentioned earlier, LeBron James supposed to uplift someone like Joel Embiid, the same way they talked about. He's supposed to lift up someone like Luka Doncic and Anthony Davis, all these guys. But he never bends his game. Everyone else has to make the adjustments. Luka Doncic has to lose weight. He has to be better on defense. Everyone else has to do something. Chris Bosh has to readjust his game. Kevin Love has to readjust his game. So everyone on this team now, all of a sudden, they have to make the adjustments. Dwayne Wade, the dude literally said, yeah, after that 2011 finals, I had to go watch film of Michael Jordan off ball in the triangle offense.
That elbow is fucking crazy.
Yep.
I didn't know that he grimaced after that. I'd never seen that play before.
That's because you don't watch any of my fucking videos.
That's crazy.
Let's keep moving with supers because we haven't gotten to the main event yet. Cyberius, please read our good friend Jesse Glad-Saget.
Jesse Glad-Saget, thanks for coming through. What the cult of LeBrick does is borderline demonic. They've really tried to invert every standard of greatness to glorify losing.
Yeah, right, exactly. Shout out to the Jesse Glad-Saget for always coming through as a little true supporter. That's the facts. Remember, it started with the participation trophy stuff from some years back, and this is where we are now. Right? It's okay to not go out there and give effort and do those kinds of things and try to win stuff as long as you put some stats up. At the end of the game, yeah, man, well, I got some stats. It's all good.
Blame and excuses is the same as actually having been successful at this point.
I'll be right back.
And we have the real Donald Trump. Keep up the good work, gents. LeBron fans want to know if he will join the WNBA after he retires from the NBA.
Yeah. Have you seen that movement? Enes Kanter was saying he was declaring for the WNBA.
No.
Yeah, it's one of those heavily politicized. He. I'm sorry. I shouldn't. I'm drunk, but whatever. He's saying that he's going to identify as a woman just long enough to be able to declare for the WNBA. Him and someone else. I can't think of their name. It's a whole thing. Fox News is running with it.
Oh, don't get me started on these fools, man. Oh, God.
Robin knows. It's pretty funny.
We've, if we go down this path, it'll be a half an hour.
Oh yeah. It's definitely for a different show.
It's the political channel.
Yeah.
Jolly Joshams, LeBron is the SEC football of the NBA, undefeated in hypothetical matchups.
Yes.
Jolly
Did
Josh.
you guys notice that they stopped mentioning the 8 straight finals and the 9 straight like when did they stop mentioning that?
Mention what?
His success going to 8 straight finals, 9 straight finals, 10 straight. When did that narrative stop? Because that used to be the whole pushing force when he stayed in the East and got to X amount of finals. And that all of a sudden they never mention it anymore.
Oh shit! You know what? I forgot about the Ric Bucher soundbite.
Oh,
how much time has everybody got? Can we do Ric Bucher and trash?
I got all the time in the world.
Ric Bucher, and we still have to trash Rich Paul.
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
Oh my God! Look at all the supers. We can't.
Keep going. Keep rolling.
Holy shit! That's almost an hour and a half, man. That flew. All right.
Saying La Thunder Dump. Saying
Thunder Dump is great.
This is from Ruthless Raider. Saying La Thunder Dump elevates anyone is like saying Chet is on. Shout out.
Not shout out to Chet Holmgren though.
No, even though he fucking scored on LeBron like 5 times in a row.
Isn't that weird? He is like the what if I want to Photoshop like a skinny, weak person, it would be Chet Holmgren, and he had buckets on that team.
Speedy Eagle is a member for 15 months. Thank you very much for that. Ruthless Raider again. Thank you. Shannon Shart.
That's funny.
Hates that La Sciatica can't pass MJ. Oh, Shannon Sharp is a case.
Exactly.
That dude is a case.
Nope.
Still haven't forgiven JJ for attacking Bird. None of us have. And it's a shame that JJ is still with the Lakers. I mean, JJ has made so many boneheaded decisions and said so many terrible things.
Do we think the Christmas Day game is going to be Lakers Sixers?
Yeah.
Even though there's no reason for it to happen?
Well,
like,
sure there is.
Well, I mean, there's no basketball reason for it to happen.
Well,
like, do you think the NBA is that transparent?
Yes. In what way? In what way is it? Adam Silver admitted that they were holding the schedule for LeBron. You can't get much more transparent than that.
I know, but it's just like, it's so pathetic when you say it out loud. Is that because I expect that too? But is that how bad it is that even though there's no reason for those two teams to play each other ever, really, they're going to do that for Christmas Day?
Sure, there is. It's just drama.
I think that was part of the reason why they were waiting for LeBron James to pick a destination, because the Sixers, I believe, are going to have the most televised games or nationally televised games in the NBA this upcoming season. So that's part of the reason why they do this stuff.
Well, look. When Shaq left LA, somehow LA versus Miami was the Christmas Day game then. So it's not like that. This is new. You know, it's not necessarily like that was going to be the best basketball. Although it was actually, LA was still a good team, and it was interesting that they didn't have Shaq, and the Heat won the championship that season. So, I mean, I guess those were pretty good excuses to show that game on Christmas.
I would love to see the Lakers and the Sixers play against each other, and LeBron James guarding Luka Doncic, and to see how that goes, man. And then like really have like a little rivalry on the court. That to me would be great.
No, they'll do LeBron guarding his son. They'll be first father and son to go up against each other, Rob, and that's what that'll be.
Oh shit, Speam. That's actually quite a possibility.
Are they going to get rid of him? That's a great point, Speam.
You just threw a wrench in things there. I had something. Robin, what did you just say? You reminded me of something I wanted to bring up. God damn it. What was your point before Speam's point?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I made a lot of points out here.
Yeah, I mean, in the last.
I'm like LeBron James, man. I'm making all kinds of points out here.
The LeBron James of point makers.
Come on, man. I'm out here. I'm doing everything out here.
Well, this wasn't it, but Speam, isn't it? Well, this will be in the Rich Paul part that we're going to make fun of, but Rich Paul stated that the one thing out of the 36 elements of basketball, wherever that came from, was that give me whatever the fuck that means.
Not a thing.
I'm sorry. I didn't know the thing. Go ahead.
Hold on. But he gave scoring to Michael Jordan, and yet LeBron fans say that LeBron's obviously the best scorer ever because he has the most points ever. And yet here's Rich Paul fucking all of that up because he was so busy spewing other stupidity that he fucked up that entire argument on accident. All right, we'll get back to that. Damn it. I hope
36 fucking laws of basketball that only he knows. I never heard that.
36 on God Green's earth. Dipshit motherfucker.
Goodness gracious, man. I mean, listen, if I respect people reading books. I told you my wife. I respect people, you know.
I don't know where this is going.
You know, like I told you I worked in the jail for a long time, man, and oftentimes a lot of these guys in there would, you know, refer me to reading some book, you know, The Laws of Power, or, you know, something like that, right? So I respect people getting.
Robin said, "I'm waiting for the movie." The Laws.
What movie?
You said that you rather watch a movie and your wife reads the books.
Yeah, I ain't reading no book. I'm not one of those people that's gonna listen to people telling me the book is better than the movie. I'm not into that stuff. Like I remember people telling me the Jurassic Park book was better than the movie. Yeah, I'll take your word for it. I'm not reading the book of Jurassic Park. But again, same thing with like what's the Game of Thrones, right? People talk about the books and all these things. Yeah, it's great. I'm not
Shout
reading
out to Jurassic Park.
Yeah, once again, shout out to Jurassic Park.
Shout out to Jurassic Park.
So yeah, I appreciate people gaining some level of clarity or, like I said, something from these kinds of books, man. But at the same time, you have to demonstrate an understanding of these books. Here's what I'm talking about. Like when they asked LeBron James about that Malcolm X book, it wasn't the fact that we're just saying, oh, he's just fake reading books. It was the level of not understanding that he had when they asked him about the book. And instead of just being honest and being a grown-ass man and being like, hey, I just started reading this book. I'm only on page 2. The reason I'm reading this book is because I don't know who Malcolm X really is. I wanted to learn more about him. Instead, he tried to make it seem as if he had been reading this book the second time. And now I'm going over it again. You know what I'm saying? Because I really want to learn about how great this man. I mean, dude, you sound like a fool, man.
The Ruthless Raider, thank you for being so generous today. The only thing point forward about LaBelle movement
that's good.
Is when he points forward at another teammate to blame for his ongoing failures. He points after the play fails, and he points at the beginning to pretend like he's orchestrating something, and absolutely nothing changes. Okay, we got it. We gotta rip through these and get to Ric Bucher, and then it's like the Netflix produced special of Rich Paul being dumb. Yalsabag, go ahead, Smeem.
Shout out to Yalsabag. LeBron was 40. LeBron was 40 since he was 35. That still cracks me up.
That is so true.
Fitness brands. He's been 40 for 20 years. It's weird.
Yep.
Oh, you're giving Sports and Fitness Rants credit for that? I thought I got that one.
Nah, man, that's all sport. They know the deal, man. All right, come on.
Yeah, don't get him going again.
Hey, speaking of Jurassic Park, which NBA player am I when I do the Velociraptor? Sarah, welcome to the show. Do you guys think once LeBron retires, we will finally be able to celebrate winning again? No, I don't.
Oh, that's AOH's girl. Don't let anybody else feel that answer except for AOH. Don't let anybody else answer that question.
Oh, stop it. Pink Lady's been in here too. I'm leaving everybody alone today.
Shout out to Sarah for coming through.
Nobody say a fucking word.
Jesus.
Just let AOH talk. Get these jokes off in front of the girls.
I mean, we still get to celebrate because LeBron James ain't doing no winning. So we get to watch LeBron James go out there and stink it up every season and them continue to make that. I told you, the longer LeBron James plays, the more content he creates for us, man. The further and further away he gets from the all-time greats, guys. This is embarrassing stuff, man. Like I said, you think this chapter in Philadelphia is going to be anything short of a circus show, what we've been witnessing over the last 10, 15 years now? Come on, man. I mean, this is what we're going to be dealing with. Standing around, just standing around, blowing on my hands.
They're going to boo him. They're going to attack him personally. They're going to take shots at him, his family. Like they're like Philly fans are psychopaths. Like I'm
yeah, but that's what you said from the beginning. Yeah, all we've been hearing is ass sucking from
really.
That's radio.
I hope it's different when they get there and they start losing.
We'll see. Armando Ruiz, law number 1 equals lie. Thank you, Armando. Sorry, excuse me. Excuse me, pardon me. Ruthless Raider. Braun's defense is like Mayweather reading. Wow. The real Donald Trump is back. Is LeBron better than Karl Malone? Be honest. Well, I did a video on this.
Yep.
You know my answer.
And he is definitively not.
Yeah. If you haven't watched that, I'm not going to be offended, but I encourage you to go to my channel and watch Karl Malone at age 40 compared to LeBron James.
Yeah, I think Karl Malone's longevity is absolutely undeniable. I don't believe that LeBron James has a longevity argument against Karl Malone. He was just better on both sides of the ball simultaneously than LeBron James was for a longer period of time. So again, I think that's a conversation. But if you look at, like I said, what Karl Malone was able to do for a long period of time, man, that can't be denied.
Okay, here we go with Ric Bucher.
The man has been in the league for the last 23 years. He's played in 10 finals over that time. He has surpassed all-time records, both great scoring, minutes played, and not so great turnovers. Even when he's not performing well or on center stage, he has found ways to capture our attention. He has broken countless norms, whether it's having his son drafted by his team or employing an agent who hosts a podcast and talks openly about LeBron's teammates or declaring himself the greatest player of all time. Something no other player has ever fixed their lips to say publicly. They are reflections of his power and influence and willingness to use them. Some people see it as bold, breaking the mold. Others see it as self-serving and annoying. The fact is, LeBron's longevity, success, and willingness to break from conventional norms makes it impossible to avoid talking about him. So this is the first epiphany I had. The reason his fans are so devoted to him and believe wholeheartedly he is the greatest all-time player ever is because no one has generated more attention, ever. Attention, clicks, views, ratings, subscriptions. This, in today's world, is equated with excellence, much like being on TV is perceived as being intelligent or knowing something. However, neither one of those premises is true. The Jerry Springer Show at one point averaged between 9 and 11 million viewers daily. This was on TV, which invariably meant being in someone's living room or at home, not watching a phone in the back of a taxi or at a table in a coffee shop or while walking to work. Then there were the Kardashians, who flipped their reality show fame into product influencing. They counted their earnings and their social media followers in the billions. Was Springer or the Kardashians good at something? Yes. Attracting and holding people's attention by any means necessary. That was their sole aim, and they were masters at it. According to Dan Le Batard, that is the sole purpose and aim of TV, to attract and hold people's attention. And that is a sad commentary. Depressing, actually. But I can't say he's wrong, at least not in today's world. Maybe that's why being on TV has never impressed me. I ended up with a TV career because of my knowledge and insight and ability to convey it. I didn't pursue it. I've never let go of the idea that the first part, having knowledge and insight, is negotiable. That how I convey it is all that matters. Seeing where TV executives are investing their money, I'm clearly wrong about that. Convey something, anything, in an entertaining fashion, and we'll put you on TV. LeBron, of course, is also a master at attracting and holding people's attention. He is also a stupendously talented and dedicated athlete. But his ability to attract and hold people's attention, lots of people, is in no way strictly because of his talent and dedication. I would venture to guess there are as many people who follow or watch LeBron to see him fail as those who do so to watch his mastery. Put those two groups together and that's a whole lot of people. And that's why the league wanted him to make up his mind so they could schedule as many national games featuring him as they could. That's not purely because he's a great player. It's because he's a polarizing great player.
Wow. Boy, there's a lot in there. Who wants to go first?
I'll start. One of the most troubling things about that video, you hear me. One of the most troubling things about that video is that the first person I think of is the commissioner talking about how it's a highlight league. So if the man at the very top is doubling down on what Ric Bucher is saying is the problem, I think the product is doomed to fail. And it's going to be an uphill battle for as long as we're doing it. I mean, if the man in charge is flat out telling you it's a highlight league, and that's what we keep calling attention to. Basketball is not what's being sold. It's the drama. It's the interactions between basketball. That's what sells. And we've been saying this for how long? LeBron James doesn't sell basketball. He sells drama. Nobody gives a shit about him showing up to play basketball. They give a shit because, well, maybe he'll get into an altercation with Stephen A. Smith. Maybe he'll argue with his son. Maybe he'll do something fucking stupid that has nothing to do with basketball that we can sell. So I think it's very troubling.
And you made good points. And I'll remind everyone that basketball by itself used to sell. You didn't have to go to these links. How damaging was the Jerry Springer show to society in the long run? Things like that.
I don't think terribly. Like it was a thing, and then it faded into the ethos relatively quickly when it was gone.
But it was replaced by similar things.
Well, that's true.
True story. There was a girl from my high school that was on the Jerry Springer show. So once again, shout out to the Jerry Springer show. When you talk about a show like that, all the Jerry Springer show was a prerequisite for what we see now on social media. I mean, hell, YouTube is like one big Jerry Springer show. Have you seen some of the content on YouTube, man? There's some crazy, cringy stuff out here on YouTube, y'all. I mean, if you just look at some of the videos of people eating food and doing it you got people with no shirts on, throwing stuff or eat. I mean, you got some really crazy stuff. So what people do in front of a camera now is really what you see on Jerry Springer. We just didn't know those people were out there because they didn't have cell phones. They didn't have laptops. They didn't have access to this stuff. So in that regard, Jerry Springer is out in the world everywhere now. We are Jerry Springer, man. It's who we are. So this didn't hurt society. That was a part of society you didn't know existed, man. So to me, that stuff was always comical and laughable, but there was also some level of truth and learning that could come from that show. I mean, hell, just off the fact that, hey, I don't want to be like those people is something that Jerry Springer would make you realize when you watch some of those in there. Hey, my life ain't that bad because I'm not dealing with this. That's how I looked at a lot of this stuff. Anyway, when you talk about what Ric Bucher said, a shout out to Ric Bucher, man, because I don't know, like, in the regard, like, does he write all his soliloquies himself? Does he have a writer? Does he have like a team of people that put these words together? Because obviously he has, wrote this down and was reading off of something, this long speech that he went on. But there's one thing I want to reiterate to something that Ric Bucher mentioned about, you got one half that, wants to hate him and wants to see him fail, and the other half likes him, and you converge that adds to his celebrity and his popularity. In the regard, I don't agree with that in the regard of what you get from a lot of the people that are supposedly promoting LeBron James or making videos on LeBron James. I want people to understand again, we're here to stop the lies and the narratives in the promotion of LeBron James and his career versus the other great players historically. That's what this is about. If they were never lying about LeBron James and the contemporaries and the older guys, we've said before, there would be no need for people to come out here with the videos to, again, stop the lies, to set the record straight here. So when we talk about Ahmad Rashad and the Shannon Sharps, like I said, he was never lying about Larry Bird or Magic Johnson or Isaiah Thomas trying to tear these guys down to promote Michael Jordan and be like, yeah, well, Michael Jordan's the greatest of all time. He's that great because Kareem really wasn't that great, or Bill Russell, played against a bunch of white dudes. They weren't saying this nonsense. But the guys that promote LeBron James and the way they do it is the problem. So when you talk about the popularity, I never see people wearing his jerseys like that. I don't see people wearing his shoes. A lot of the people that follow LeBron James are bots. Bots, man. It's not true fame. You're getting booed everywhere you go, more often than not.
So there's two details I would sort of argue against Bucher with, and slightly against you, Robin. Some people do tune in to watch him fail. Now, that's different than content creators who make content about him failing. Some people do tune in to watch him fail because he's so polarizing. But the part that I didn't like is that he called the Kardashians masters at what they were doing and LeBron masters. No, they have a team of publicists behind them that are actually orchestrating their success. They aren't actually good. What the fuck are the Kardashians talented at? You can't be a master of anything if you don't have any talent. And LeBron James is also a very untalented basketball player. They had to change the rules to accommodate his lack of actual talent. Yes, he has physical abilities. And look, I understand he's made some jump shots in his career. I'm not saying he can't play basketball, but Jesus Christ, the lowering of standards in order to accommodate him is astonishing.
Well, when was like real world road rules and all that, within that timeline, because that's actually right around when we started to reward people being lunatics anyways. That's right around when we started
Real
rewarding
World was like 91 and 92, and
Holy
Jerry
shit.
Springer came later than that.
Was it? Okay. So, but it's all the same idea, just rewarding shock value.
Yeah, that was the first reality show, actually. Or maybe it wasn't.
No, I think it was.
But those people didn't become billionaires.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was the stepping stone, you know.
I was going to say they still became successful.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. You know, there was something called shame, though. You used to be able to experience shame and be ashamed of yourself. I don't think that exists anymore. There's no shame. Like you talking about all these people on social media, Robin, that do things that in the past, even if you'd had a camera in front of you, you're like, I'm not going to fucking do that. But now you're rewarded for being a piece of shit. And people don't have shame. LeBron James does not have shame. LeBron James has never had to face consequences for his shameful behavior. In fact, he's been rewarded for it.
You just said it right there. You're rewarded for your behavior now, AOH. I mean, Black Mirror did like 5 episodes on this. You just go out, you do something fucking insane, and the public will reward you for it. So
even if they don't like what you did, you're ultimately being rewarded.
Well, it's the attention is the reward, right? It's like that. There's no such thing as bad publicity. That's never been truer than now. I mean, for Christ's sake, we're living in a time where someone said "Catch Me Outside" and got a record deal. We're living in a time where someone said "Hawk Tua" and now she's throwing out the first pitch at a baseball game. I mean, LeBron James is the personification of that.
Right. I mean, you made some great points right there, Speed. Like the lack of talent that you need to really become a million. I mean, you could become a millionaire just from going viral off of one video, and all of a sudden you're a millionaire because all of a sudden now you're collaborating with other, content creators, or like you said, all of a sudden now you're put on this pedestal, and you're like, what did this person do to earn it? You talk about some of the Kardashians, the entire family overall. I mean, you think about, some of the things that, that they do. I mean, they're not even happy with themselves. That's why they continue to chop themselves up, and they don't even look like themselves anymore. So they'll promote this, you should love yourself, and now they're fitness celebrities, and now they promote health and wellness. How could you dare promote health and wellness when you fools are out here chopping yourselves up and you're getting all these Botox injections and you're doing all this weird stuff, man? You're getting all these things done, and you have all these advantages that the average everyday person doesn't have. It's like I used to tell people my health and fitness side of things for women specifically. A lot of times you would get women that would feel a certain way about how they look after they had children. So they would often talk and point to celebrities as look at the weight that they lost. Oh, they were able to get their body back and look like Hollywood ready after having a child. And sometimes women would feel a certain way about this, and they would feel inadequate, and they would wonder, how come I can't be like so-and-so? How was she able to get back to beach body? And I laugh at this stuff. And I'm like, why would you ever compare yourselves to a Hollywood actor? Do you think these people are doing the same things you're doing? You think they're living your life? These people have luxuries you can't imagine, man. They got personal chefs. They got au pairs. They got personal trainers coming to their house. They have all of these advantages, which would help them lose the weight. It's not you. Don't ever compare yourself to these people, man.
We got a super chat here, and this is from Papa Yogito. I debated my little brother and his friend 2-on-1. I asked them how many scoring titles since he is the best scorer, and they didn't know. His friend conceded and said they needed to do their research. I mean, indeed, that's a very simple and yet effective story. It speaks a lot that these people don't even know things about the player that they are so devoted to.
Yep. Shout out to Papa Yogito for coming through, man. That's a great comment. Once again, educating the young kids out there.
Thank you for that super chat. Let's push forward with this Rich Paul bit.
Let's do it.
Watch this.
Hold on, check this out.
Oh, his voice is so fucking irritating.
Hold up.
All right, Robin's holding up. He actually said to hold up.
That's what he was saying.
Oh, I'll preface this. I'm very annoyed
Let it
that
roll.
dudes standing in a group was turned into like a Netflix special. There's multiple cameras on this fucking thing, and they even intentionally do the shaky cam thing to provide some authenticity. And I'll ask, have you guys ever been with a group and somebody's going off and you're like, which one of us is gonna be the one that's brave enough to say you sound stupid? And right when you're about to do it, someone else says, oh yeah, true that. You're like, oh Christ, now what do we do? Like, anyway, this is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. And I don't know if I'm as upset at Rich Paul as I am to this crowd of dudes that hype it, or the people that watched it and thought it was great.
And all of them. But you said Jordan didn't play anybody.
Here we go. Watch this.
Hold on. Check this out. Let's make it a little bit deeper. I have something for this. It's a lot deeper. When you say he didn't have it, right?
Get it out the scene.
When you look at Michael grew up with a mom and a dad in his household. When you look at Kobe grew up with a mom and dad in his household. When you look at LeBron's mom was 16 when she had him as a child. Now,
listen to this.
He spent a lot of time by himself, right? He did not develop. Taking the last shot over 3 people is a selfish gene. That don't make you having killer instinct.
That don't make you having killer instinct. Like, his inability to speak English is a separate topic, but I'm not gonna not mention it.
That's a selfish behavior. That's a gene.
That's it. A selfish behavior based on how you were raised is different than genetics. Can we stop right there and understand the difference between genetics? If it was genetic, it wouldn't fucking matter if you had 100 parents. It's in your genes. These fucking people don't know what genetics is.
Rich Paul is trying to explain his thoughts on nature versus nurture. I just realized that. He's trying to explain nature versus nurture. He's a fucking moron. I'm struggling to get through this, but go ahead.
I know it's tough, especially with dudes bowing their heads like they're listening to the Sermon on the Mount.
But when was Michael Jordan taking these shots over 3 people and just chucking up wild shots? See, this is the thing that I'm talking about. Again, you're over here creating a weird narrative and you're lying about scenarios that we never saw. No one promotes Michael Jordan as this guy that was chucking up last-second shots over 3 guys and was costing the Bulls championship. This is insane stuff. Oh, yeah, that's selfish. Look at the shots that Michael Jordan was taking in these scenarios. He's not shooting over 3 guys. He's not taking bad shots. Look at LeBron James in a lot of these scenarios. They tell you he's making the right play, but in fact, he's taking bad shots.
I have plenty of footage of LeBron James taking stupid shots over multiple players, even here late in his career. And, you know, Robin, you bring up a good point, because you see him draw the defenders and pass off to a Steve Kerr. And instead of acknowledging that he drew the defenders and made the right play, they rip on him for that by saying, oh, look, who saved you? Well, wait a minute. I thought he was selfish and you wanted him to pass in the right situation. And here's Rich Paul not even knowing what happened. And later on, Rich Paul says that Jordan is his guy all the way. Dude, you are disrespecting Michael Jordan right now worse than anyone in the media right now disrespects LeBron James. And yet LeBron James demands apologies and walkbacks. And the greatest player ever just quietly endures this never-ending disrespect because LeBron James himself can't deliver. And so you have to have an entire marketing campaign on explaining to people things that aren't visually explainable.
That's the most heartbreaking thing about this argument. AOH is that the one who's the greatest, we all know who's the greatest in Jordan, tragically keeps his mouth shut because those of us that are the greatest know we don't need to say it. So the irony is we all know it, and he can't say anything because he's not going to lower himself down to that argument. It's like this beautiful disaster kind of piece.
I don't know LeBron's mom, but you hear her giving praise for doing a great job. But LeBron James acts like an asshole At what point are we going to be like she didn't do a good job? I mean,
or more importantly, at what point do we have to stop hearing about his underdog story? I mean, he had more advantages from 17, probably 16 years old than anybody in this room, anybody in this chat. So at what point do we stop, hearing that he was an underdog and had this uphill fight? He's had everything handed to him since high school. At what point do we stop talking about it?
What years of your life are childhood and which years of your life are adulthood? Because he had a very privileged childhood compared to a lot of people's childhood.
Compared to everybody.
Yeah.
Compared to everybody.
I mean, how is Michael Jordan selfish to that degree? I mean, listen, all these guys have a certain level of selfishness to them. We talk about the great players, the great athletes, no doubt about it. But if Michael Jordan's main focus was winning, and we all, I think, understand that Michael Jordan's main focus was winning, right? I think we all understand this. If your main focus is winning, and he was willing to sacrifice to win, then how could you be selfish like LeBron James? How could you be selfish to that level? How could that be a negative? His selfishness never got in the way of the winning aspect and the focus, which once again was a sacrifice to win. If all you want to do and you're worried about is winning, then you're not going to be that selfish because you understand you're going to allow other people to do things that help you win. But LeBron James doesn't care about winning first and foremost. He cares about how he looks when he wins. He cares about the stats that he puts up while he wins. He wants all these other things to look a certain way. He wants all the recognition, none of the blame. So if your main focus is not winning, then yeah, being selfish to the level that LeBron James is obviously going to show and it's going to impact you on the basketball court.
I'm going to push forward because they're going to provide plenty of content for us to say these things we're planning on saying. Rip to Coach Don Nelson real quick, not to get sidetracked. Apparently he passed an hour ago at the age of 86, but shout out to Love Them Skins for the super and the shout out to Don Nelson.
Yeah, that's too bad.
We'll come back to that after we're finished shitting on Rich Paul.
Oh, listen.
Why in the fuck does it put the wrong shit on the screen?
Hey, man.
Listen to me. It ain't got nothing to do with killer. Because the killers is in the joint. And some of them are walking out here. This ain't no killer shit on a basketball court.
Oh boy. He sounds like he really knows what he's talking about, doesn't he? Rich Paul starts getting up in his own head. What the fuck is he talking about? And this dipshit, I hate this dude in purple because he acts like he's hearing the best thing he's ever heard in his life.
Been around them all. What I'm
you clown.
trying to explain to you is psychologically, when you spend the time that you spent by yourself, quite naturally you want to do what? You want to befriend people, and you built a game off of making other guys look good. LeBron.
That's two different things.
Yep.
If you're spending time alone, you're not spending time making other people anything because you're fucking alone. So pick one. And desperately needing friends. Listen, no one treats anyone worse than LeBron James treats people, even his people in his own camp. You want to talk about selfish, weird behavior. But okay, I'm jumping ahead, but we can talk about the weirdness of claiming that having two parents equals selfishness. Two parents usually means you were raised to behave in a better way, which includes sharing, which includes not being selfish. If you have two adults that are decent adults, they're going to instill values on you even more than one good adult can, much less if you have a shitty adult. Since when does having two good parents equal having bad attributes such as selfishness? In fact, if anyone has ever been accused of being selfish, it's only Childs.
Well, you just said it right there, AOH. The only time it's going to be brought up is when it's to benefit a LeBron James argument. And the reason I was getting so heated about this was I literally started to search like, okay, what all-stars have both parents or can claim were raised by both parents? And then I immediately stopped and thought to myself, this is a stupid fucking question. This is a stupid question. This is a topic I shouldn't have to research. Like, that's part of the fucking problem. Nobody in the history of sports has ever talked about how somebody was raised with one parent or two or anything along those lines up until this conversation today. So when I started to Google, okay, well, what was Steph Curry's household like? It's like, who gives a fuck? We're just making excuses for somebody else and why they didn't measure up to what they wanted to measure up. And I can tie that back to something that Robin was saying. These expectations were created by LeBron James and Klutch and their fucking camp. Their people are the ones who designed this game to be played this way. If ironically he had just shut up and dribbled and played basketball, we're probably not having any of these conversations right now. We're probably sitting here and saying, okay, well, like 2 of his rings are legitimate, maybe 3. Okay, cool. But because he and his camp are the first and foremost to tell you how great they are, that's why people like us are in place to talk about this shit. And Rich Paul now has taken up to take away Cyberius from your brother's name, taking perfectly great oxygen from people who need it, sitting here talking about some bullshit that does not fucking matter. So
why don't we just say that Len Bias is the GOAT based on what might have happened and blame his death of cocaine on his parents, but he still might have done this and done that. I mean, there's so many athletes out there that came up short for a billion reasons. We're supposed to focus on the guys that made it. Some people got through it, fought through the fire, and rose above and delivered.
That's the whole fucking point.
Yeah, you're not supposed to focus on the excuses of everyone who didn't make it. Jesus, that doesn't separate you from hardly anyone on the planet.
But that's their whole camp's fucking, that's what they do.
I know.
That's why it's so frustrating. That's what they do. They tell you, don't try hard. Don't figure it the fuck out. Just bitch. Just bitch and moan until you get called a victim. And then you move on.
Shall I keep hitting play, or do you need to get anything off your chest?
I'm sure more will come up as he talks.
No, Robin and Cyberius, shall I hit play, or?
Yeah, let it run.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Keep going.
To pass and you scoring just as much as he sees himself scoring, which is why he's the only athlete to have other self-made millionaires in his circle and not look down upon it because he don't.
I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about.
What the fuck does that even mean?
Have that selfish gene. Whereas
say your words. Say your words.
I can't fucking.
Oh my god.
I'm glad you guys are as mad as I am. Say your words. We don't even understand what the fucking point is, much less what he said. And this dude's acting like he heard the best thing he's heard in his life. Does he think he's impressed? Because sometimes when you don't understand what somebody's saying, you are tricked cognitively into believing you're hearing something that's smarter than it is, just because you don't know what it is.
No, because I don't think Rich Paul has the capacity to even say things that someone could mistake for being fucking smart or intelligent.
These guys mistook it.
Whereas when I got all the toys in the toy chest and I got the optionality of what toys I was
talking about.
Optionality. That's not a fucking word.
I want to play with. And if you don't do it how I do it, I take my ball and go home.
Is there ever been a basketball player that better personifies taking your ball and going home than LeBron James?
Or take my milk and cookies and I'll go home.
I mean, back to Ric Bucher, declarations or confessions. You are describing LeBron James while pretending that you're not.
But he should not have a voice is the issue. He's a fucking agent. He should not have a voice. He should not have this much control over public fucking thought. It's tampering. It is present day tampering. We're seeing it and we're laughing about it. But he is literally controlling the future of the NBA doing this bullshit.
Well, I actually have to admit, I don't even understand what I'm watching because it's pretending like it's just dudes on a FaceTime, but you've got multiple cameras there. You can even see some of the other cameras in the wide angles. Like this is
it's a whole production.
it's a production of fucking nonsense. But just like Rich Paul has these morons surrounding him saying, say your words, that's fair, that's true. You have people at home watching these guys be influenced by Rich Paul, thinking that they also should be influenced by Rich Paul. Yep. And you're listening to some of the dumbest shit that you've ever fucking heard. But people at home are thinking, maybe he has a good point, even though I don't even understand what the fuck he just said.
Yo, man, this Black Gilligan from Gilligan's Island looking mug. Yo, this dude brought up a toy chest. He was talking about toy boxes. Yo, he brought up black billionaires or millionaires. He brought up the weirdest stuff. Think about the psychology about what he's talking about. He's trying to tell you that an only child is not selfish, and a child that grew up with siblings is selfish.
Does not make sense at all.
It doesn't even add up to the real world and what actually happens in life. I grew up as the oldest of 4 boys. There is no being self. I just share everything with them. All my He-Mans, all my G.I. Joes, all my Transformers. Everything was for everybody. So you're going to sit there trying to tell me and tell us that Michael Jordan was selfish because he had brothers and sisters? How does that work into the equation? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, as we're going to hear, Michael Jordan had the unfair advantage of playing basketball against his brother or something.
When you put that on the basketball court, then that creates another gene, which we call killer instinct, which is...
It created a gene. We're just making fucking genes. DNA strands are wrapping around each other on the basketball.
You're just gonna sit here and let Rich Paul, like he's in the X-Men and he's just creating new fucking genes and new people. What the fuck is he talking about?
Look at this fucking ass clown in the background.
Fine, I got no problem with it. But you gotta look deeper into the psychologically.
You gotta look deeper into the psychologically.
Who are these crackheads holding that phone up, man? Who are these fools, man?
I don't know.
Out of here with this nonsense. Yo, he actually said that LeBron James got people paid. Michael Jordan got the entire league paid. Michael Jordan got so many people paid that LeBron James got paid years after Michael Jordan left the game. LeBron James getting paid through Nike because of Michael Jordan. The man remade Space Jam and got paid because of this nonsense. He's talking about a couple guys and his crew that Michael Jordan paved the way for all of these guys.
Robin, you don't think it's dangerous that there's a group of people listening to Rich Paul talk about fucking genetics? You don't think that that's fucking weird? That like there is such a thing. We joke. There is such a thing as being dangerously stupid. And Rich Paul is that. Like there needs to be somebody in his circle saying, bro, you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. You're just spouting things. There's got to be one person because he's going to go teach at some school because he got some honorary degree. And he's going to tell somebody all you need to do to change your genetics is kick one of your parents out the house and then you'll be raised differently. Like this is a dangerously stupid individual and he has a lot of control and it's very troublesome. It's very worrying.
The psychology of it all.
Michael Jordan did for someone like Spike Lee. I mean, Spike Lee was lifted and elevated due to those Michael Jordan commercials. Even Spike Lee himself said that Michael Jordan ingratiated him during those commercials, that he wasn't standoffish and that he helped to elevate him. That he felt so comfortable that he went to Michael Jordan to help raise money for the Malcolm X movie. So again, man, Michael Jordan did a lot for a lot of people during that time, man. He lifted a lot of people up.
Let me back this up just a tiny bit.
Psychologically, to killer instinct, which is fine. I got no problem with it. But you got to look deeper into the psychologically.
Into the psychologically. I
haven't heard anyone mangle the English language that badly since I heard LeBron James in an interview.
The psychology of it all. Michael Jordan is my man through and through, so I'm not.
No, he's fucking not.
You can't do what you're doing right now and say that. My man. Jesus Christ.
Knocking Michael Jordan, but when I'm
exactly what you're doing is knocking Michael Jordan. You literally.
Why is his ear so close to the phone? He's not saying anything so profound that you just have to hear it.
So you can appreciate why I can't stand this motherfucker in the background.
Well, but no, because this is the sheep bullshit that we always. This is exactly what we talk about. You have a bunch of grown-ass men surrounding this fucking phone, burning their ears together, listening to some bullshit.
Imagine that you guys as children are here too, and they're watching these adults act like this. Imagine the negative influence.
God damn.
LeBron grew up making guys better. So quite
while he was alone.
Naturally.
By the way, some viewers have told me to watch LeBron's high school tapes, and apparently he played exactly the same selfish piece of shit. So apparently I'm not going to find
each other. They didn't even know each other growing up. So what the fuck is he talking about?
He's going to always make the proper basketball play,
which he almost never does. So, but here's a lie being told and spread.
Michael grew up playing against his brother every day.
Peep this, like how Cyberius mentioned, they always stick to the same language. Peep this, Rich Paul said he always makes a proper basketball play. When casually have you said that to somebody without it having to mean something?
Right.
Never. It goes back to Cyberius talking about.
You can't say that casualty because of the gravity of the statement. Always. I mean, using the word always is already absurd. Right. Even Michael Jordan didn't always make the right play. Fucking nobody always.
Nobody does. I mean, what the fuck are we saying?
Right, that's the point. Exactly.
It's an impossible claim.
Yep.
Hey, I couldn't beat my older brother Larry, and so when I finally beat him, that created no matter what, I'm taking this shot.
So if you had a sibling that you played against, that means that you're going to take a shot no matter what.
This is it's like a Saturday Night Live sketch. Like, this doesn't even seem real to me.
I'm waiting for this dude's ear to start bleeding from the stupidity. And yet he thinks he's hearing the best shit ever.
See, man, what Rich Paul is missing when he's talking about his brother and what that did for Michael Jordan is something I can relate to because, like I said before, I'm the oldest of 4 boys, and I approach my brothers the same way when we would go outside in the driveway and play one-on-one against each other. And I always said the same thing. I never let my brothers beat me because they're not going to gain anything worth of value from that exchange. So what happened, because they had to work to beat me, because I didn't make it easy on them, they had to actually work on their games. It required for them to actually get better to beat me, not by them just beating me because I was like, oh, yeah. So when you talk about Michael Jordan, one of the things that you guys mentioned that Rich Paul did not mention is what he talked about or didn't give credit to as far as the genetics, right? And you think about Michael Jordan, one of the things we can't fail to mention is the size and the height of Michael Jordan's brother and the size and the height of Michael Jordan himself in relation to the to the Jordan family overall, their history. Like Michael Jordan's father said, and come fly with me, there was nobody that tall in his family. So for him to be that height, that's something that I told you, he was born to do this stuff, man. LeBron James being 6'7" in high school and having all these abilities, man, and stuff. There's not many people that can turn around and say, yeah, I'm coming from a bad neighborhood, a bad situation, but at least I'm 6'8" and I'm a crazy athlete and that can help me get up out this situation. It's the optionality. He had a lot of optionality, LeBron James, versus other people.
And they didn't out physical LeBron.
Right. So it's not a knock to none of them, but when you
okay, again, that means it's a knock to all of them, by the way. That's what a double negative does.
Yep.
You talk about a basketball player.
Not for nothing. He sounds like a small person, like a midget. Like, you guys ever see Blank Man or Bad Santa? What's the little midget's name? Like, they sound exactly the same. I can't unhear it. Now, I did take a second, but he sounds like that small person. I can't remember his Tony something.
There's never been a basketball player born on anywhere on this God Green's earth.
Born on anywhere on this God Green's earth.
God Green's.
There's
it's embarrassing.
Like 17 fucking grammatical mistakes in that sentence.
Yo, this man hasn't said a damn thing throughout this entire clip. Like, there's nothing that you're going to say at the end of the debate. Yo, man, you know what? LeBron James is the GOAT, man. He made other people rich, and he had toy chests, and he was spreading the toys, and yeah, man, he was an only child. Come on, man, it's ridiculous.
And yet these dudes end up with the exact opposite conclusion as Robin somehow.
Born on anywhere on this God Green's earth.
Born on anywhere on this God Green's earth. And again, this goes back to the word thing with Dwayne Wade, the best player I've ever seen versus the best player I ever saw or witnessed or whatever. Like adding the best player that ever laced them up, the best player born on the planet, the best player to ever step onto a basketball court. None of these extended sentences changes a goddamn thing.
That is better than LeBron James at playing basketball.
Michael Jordan is better at LeBron James at absolutely every part of basketball. In fact, most basketball players are.
Now, if you want to talk about taking the 36 elements of basketball and stripping it down to one, which is scoring, give me Michael Jordan.
Okay, so I mentioned this earlier. He just fucked himself because LeBron fans think that LeBron having the most points ever makes him the best scorer ever. And Rich Paul just said that Michael Jordan is the best scorer ever. Oops. And then there's the other part of the sentence, 36 elements of basketball. And I'm sure all of these assholes in this crew are immediately saying, oh yeah, there's 36 elements of basketball. Yes. Is this the first time? Am I the only one who this is the first time I've heard that there were 36 elements of basketball?
He said that shit because of 36 Chambers and Wu-Tang. That's the only reason they came up with the number 36. I'm 100% positive of that. I'm 100% positive on that.
Is that what that is?
It has to be. Who the fuck has ever heard of 36 anything of fucking basketball, of any sport? It's just the number that they could come up with because of Wu-Tang. I promise you that's it.
I already mentioned, we talked about LeBron James reading Malcolm X and not being able to quote the book, but I think I pointed out how LeBron James can quote Jay-Z whenever he wants to, but he can't quote his favorite book in a true historic figure.
You think he would have done like a public book report on Malcolm X by now just to shut people up? Like, you think he would have done some kind of public?
Why? Why? What's he ever? What was his backlash? I mean, has his career suffered for any of the stupidity he's done?
Oh no, I guess not.
Yeah, he's gonna take a Shea and do a report.
Put it on.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Trifold whiteboards, you know.
There it is. Okay. We were almost at the end where that clown in the background starts saying, "That's fair. That's fair." What was the final statement that got the round of applause? And that's fair. That's fair.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Down to one, which is scoring. Give me Michael Jordan. That's it.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Shot over.
And I also have Cam Newton here in case we wanted to listen to it, but this is probably why Cam Newton got fired, because he fucking laughed his ass off at Rich Paul.
Cam Newton's another.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not here to praise Cam Newton, but at least he had this. I think it was high as shit during this, by the way.
I think he had to be.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell Rich Paul said right there. Again, he did not break down the game at all during that clip. I mean, that was like a 2-3 minute clip, whatever it was that he preached on that those guys were nodding their head to. He didn't say anything. He did not break down LeBron James' game or how he was greater than Michael Jordan somehow, versus what he did on the basketball court or what they accomplished on the court. He literally told you about a childhood. He told you about some weird scenarios that he can't really quantify. He talked about a childhood that LeBron James may or may not have had and how it relates to Michael Jordan. You don't know how Michael Jordan was raised. Just because listen, some people's parents ain't worth a damn, y'all. All right? They ain't worth a damn. There's people who've been killed, their children who have been killed by their parents. We don't got to get deep and dark on this. So let's stop acting like just because you have a mom and a dad that all of a sudden your life is great, man. Some people's parents are jacked up. They not living with their parents. They live with their grandparents, their uncles, their aunts, a best friend or some kind of, guardian, legal guardian, man. So please stop trying to paint this picture that just because you have a mom and a dad, that means a lot, man. That's not necessarily the case. Does that help? Is that a benefit? Yeah, absolutely, man. But again, that doesn't guarantee you a damn thing, folks. So for him to bring these kinds of scenarios up in relation to a greatest basketball player of all time, we're not talking about winning the Nobel Peace Prize. We're not talking about being the greatest humanitarian of all time out here trying to win the Walter Payton Award. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is weird stuff and weak-ass stuff that he said. And he did not tell you one thing, that he actually did better than Michael Jordan, and he actually told you at the end that Michael Jordan was obviously a better scorer than LeBron James.
Just depending on how you as a person react to experiences in life, like someone who had the worst childhood ever, you could argue became the most selfless person ever because of their awareness of what suffering is like. Or you could say that actually made them be selfish because they hardened their hearts. I mean, you can just come up with any argument that you want to. You guys mind if I get to some supers? Because we're way behind.
Oh, yeah, go ahead for it.
Yep. All right, I'm going to go from the bottom up. Is Rich Paul, this is Sarah, thank you. Is Rich Paul's agent, shut up. Is Rich Paul's agent license optionality? I'm guessing she made that hard to read on purpose to mimic.
Number one comment from Sarah. Thank you, Sarah.
Because he chose psychologically to be an agent. Yes, he chose psychologically to be an agent. Let's just use the word psychologically unnecessarily because it makes me feel smarter.
So shout to Sarah.
Armando Ruiz says, buckle up. This will be an all-time content season. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to handle it.
Yeah, shout out to Armando Ruiz, man. You're right about that.
Ruthless Raider. Ruthless Raiders got all the nicknames today. My goodness.
Yeah.
Is Bitch Paul a student at Bronze Promise School?
I mean, he
really
like
is.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Cyberius, read Truth Teller NBA.
Truth Teller NBA, thanks for showing up. Rich forgetting LBJ's mom is Gloria, a.k.a. Miss West.
You guys, man. Shout out to Truth Teller.
Speam, read Let Ray Cook, please.
Shout out to Let Ray Cook. I'm 42, and I can't tell you the name of MJ's agent. Shit, I can't either.
Right, word.
I've even heard it multiple times, and I can't tell you.
Ruthless Raider 78. This smooth-brained Braun Glazer said optionality. Yes, he did.
Which I did actually learn as a word, but it's a word I've never heard in my entire life.
Yeah.
They never use these words in the right context, the proper context.
LeBron's crew are paid do boys and flunkies.
Yep.
For real. Yes, man.
Ruthless Raider says Rich Paul spells with numbers.
Oh, Glitch Paul.
Robin, read Papa Yogito with the generous super chat.
Yeah, once again, a shout out to everybody out there in the chat, man. I know we've been going for a minute. I appreciate you guys rolling with us. Shout out to Papa Yogito. Thank you very much again. Kermit the Paul is a prime example of thinking they're intelligent because they have money. This guy sure has a lot of time in his hands handling so many players. Whose man's is this? That's a great point by Papa Yogito when you talk about how much free time that he has and all these time that he spends doing other stuff when you're supposed to be representing players.
Yeah.
That's a great point also, because all the crap that Jaylen Brown gets for being called the quote unquote smartest guy in the room just because he's outspoken, that energy needs to be directed at Rich Paul.
That's a great point. Is anyone more fucking vocal than Rich Paul at this point? And it's just gibberish.
It's tampering too. At the lowest level, it is fucking tampering. It's weird.
Speam, Ruthless Raider continues to have nicknames. Go ahead and read that for us.
So LaHershey Squirt never had his dad around. How when Delonte West was on the same damn team. Shout out to Ruthless Raider saying all the things that I would like to be able to say. And again, Delonte West was blackballed out the league. Next thing you know, he's sitting there at a gas station having people taking pictures of him, clowning him because he's not in the league, just because LeBron's mom wanted to test the free agency pool.
Poor Delonte. I mean, that was actually a pretty sad video. I mean, I guess he wasn't treated quite as badly as being killed in a helicopter, but you're going to be a victim of LeBron one way or another. I appreciate everyone being here on this show. We've got a couple more supers, and Robin, if you don't mind reading Carl Harvey, 1985.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Carl Harvey again, man. Another true supporter out here coming through. Paul is the epitome of fallacy. On my goodness. These idiots are literal cancer. Yo, I'm telling you, man, these are the facts. When you talk about what they said, the damage that these guys are doing, when you talk about Rich Paul, because you're not being honest and you're out here trying to rewrite history. I always say the same thing. Like, everyone, like, why can't people just give, the truth, give the facts, and then have your opinion off of those facts? Because Rich Paul can have an opinion if he thinks LeBron James greater than Michael Jordan. I don't care about that. That's great. That's LeBron James, his boy. He thinks Michael Jordan or he's greater than Michael Jordan. That's great, man. But when you see these things, right, and you try to promote this notion that LeBron James surpassed Michael Jordan, it's almost like a matter of fact, but you can't explain that. That's when I have the problem here. When I say when you're trying to make it about all these other areas, all these other avenues, and then you lie about those avenues. Like we said, you talk about how many guys got money because LeBron, look what he did for these guys. Michael Jordan did it for the entire league. An entire league was lifted up, my man. What are you? You're thinking narrow here, narrow-minded. You're thinking small. Michael Jordan made the game global. So in turn, his contemporaries all benefited. All these guys down the road, he gave them the power to do these things, man. Like, it's weird stuff.
Robin, LeBron James doesn't have his bullshit Nike contract without Jordan coming in and paving the fucking way. Yeah. I mean, I don't even understand what it is that we argue anymore. His entire playbook is based on a man that he's quote unquote surpassed. Everything that we're talking about LeBron, Jordan has already done a fucking lifetime ago and continues to do without playing a single second of basketball. That's why this whole argument to me is so pointless, because you can't, unless you have a fucking DeLorean, you can't go back and change any of this ever. Like it's done. The fact that we're sitting here talking about this with a man who has the number 23 on his shirt because of an entire different man deads the argument. I don't understand what it is we even talk about anymore.
Well, and so I'm not sure if people realize how insignificant Nike was before Jordan came around. So I ran track and field in 1984, 1985. That was when I started. I went to the shoe store to get some track shoes. The guy that was talking to me said, you should really check out this new brand called Nike. He didn't even know how to say the fucking name of the brand. That is how insignificant they were. Yeah. All they did was make track and field shoes. That's the only reason why I bought them, and they made great track and field shoes. But that's what they did. That's what they were known for. They were an incredibly niche market for a very small percentage of people. And then Jordan comes along, and all of a sudden, within a year, I mean, I think they planned on selling, 10 million or $3 million worth of Nikes in the first 5 years. And he sold $10 million, $30 million in the first year. He made them what they are. Without Jordan, Nike doesn't exist. It's not the other way around.
I can actually remember this now that you mention it.
It's great stuff, Cyberius.
People not actually knowing whether to say Nike or Nike. But that swoosh sure was catchy on the side of the shoe.
Right. That's a great story, Cyberius, that you just told, man, about going into the store and, getting a track and field shoe. And what you talked about with the brand Nike itself and how it relates to LeBron James and what Speem just said about the contract that he was given through Nike. That company's not even going to be there. The kind of money that you can make from these shoe deals is not going to be available to you if Michael Jordan doesn't do what he did. And how did Michael Jordan do what he did in the Nike shoes, where you had the advertisement with someone like Spike Lee? Is it the shoes? By going out there in a slam dunk contest and backing up, he had to walk the walk Michael Jordan in them shoes. He couldn't just say, yeah, these are the Air Jordans, man. He had to actually go out there and do it in a slam dunk contest. Go out there and do it on the court.
Some more shout outs. Ruthless Raider is back yet again. Thank you so much for your generosity, Ruthless Raider. Ain't no way. Go ahead, Cyberius. Read this.
Ain't no way on God Green's earth. Christ. That clunk no Arsenal shit show of a game LBJ possesses could ever even be considered close to MJ's razor sharp skill set.
You know, this comment points out that Rich Paul fucked that up so badly that we're not sure if he just doesn't know how to use possessives or if he thinks God Greens is a thing.
Right. Absolutely. And people, if they don't realize, why we're laughing or, we're talking about this.
I just had me some God Greens with lunch.
Exactly. It's supposed to be God's green earth. It's supposed to be other singles. And it's funny when you think about that, it all falls in line with LeBron James and the people that he continues to keep around him. You guys are one and the same. LeBron James jacks up all these sayings and the A-all, the B-alls.
B-alls, man.
Things of that nature and all the stuff that he goofs up. Rich Paul, same thing. I mean, he goofed up several phrases and made several, used several words out of context, man. The optionality thing that we talked about that sounded retarded the way that he tried to use it. And I told you the psyche that's involved in the words that he said when he says being a single child actually makes you not selfish versus growing up with siblings.
They didn't know whether a goat had fucking antlers or hooves or horns,
right.
Robin. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. And again, that's what's so frustrating about it, is it's so desperately stupid, the things that they say. When we argue it, it's just like, no, we're being haters. But it's like, no, there's a group of people on this planet that say these incredibly stupid, ill-informed things.
Yeah.
And look,
right.
this isn't race. This isn't hate, because this isn't using the English language to be hip. It's literally just fucking it up.
Yeah.
Right.
Just don't use it if you don't know how to use it and you're in a public forum. You're not recording a musical album and using slang. You're just fucking up. Don't tell me that I'm, if anyone's out there dropping the race card that we're hating on him, that's not slang and that's not culture. That's just fucking not knowing how to use the language properly.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to speak like a goof, man. Once again, these are grown-ups. See, that's the thing we're talking about here. No one would be saying a lot of this stuff if they're 22 years old, 23 years old. You're 25 years old, you want to sound like a goof and talk like a goof. Then go ahead, man, sound like a goof out there. The problem is LeBron James is in his 40s now. You can't keep promoting his age, but then not hold him to the standard of someone who's supposed to be his age. It doesn't make any sense, man. These are supposed to be grown adults in the real world. These are supposed to be guys that have people depending on them as far as them running businesses and in charge of people that work for them, that depend on them. And you guys come out here and you can't speak plainly, on a microphone or on a phone or any of these platforms that you have. And it's not every once in a while, okay, yeah, you're talking with some slang or you're using some slang. It's every single time you guys are on a platform, you're on a microphone, you sound like a bunch of idiots, man.
Here's the thing. I was going to make a joke about the optionality of a phone or a microphone. Look, he could have just said the option. He said optionality because he thought the extra syllables made him sound smarter, not because it was the right time to use the word optionality.
No, he's a pseudo-intellectual. He likes to masquerade.
Stephen A. does the same thing. Stephen A. does the same bullshit. They all do it. They all do. They throw in words unnecessarily to make it seem like they are intellectual, which the irony is they're butchering the words to begin with, just setting themselves further back. But nobody picks up on the funny thing is most LeBron fans are too stupid to pick up on the fact that he's trying to use a new word that it doesn't even matter.
We got to push. We got two supers to read here. Cyberius, please read. Or
Zoltar 424 coming through. Since Rich Paul says Bron is so generous because of his upbringing, does that mean he chose the weaker players on his team growing up like he does now?
Ooh,
shout out to Zoltar. That's a great one right there. That's funny because we see LeBron James do the opposite stuff out here on the court as far as being not selfish.
And Sarah continues to not be selfish. She's generous with the super. But even as she's giving, she's asking for a refund, jokingly, of course. I forgot I'm supposed to be selfish. Sorry. We'll send out that refund.
Just ridiculous. Also, you know, they were talking about in that video that he makes people around him better. Have we ever heard him verbally praise anyone in his career?
I don't think so. Ruthless Raider says, great show. This one made you all the best of all time. Well, that's because of how many parents I was raised with. Whatever number that may be.
That's right. That's right.
Insane, stupid fucking statement.
I mean, hell, if you think about back in the day, even like cartoons would teach you valuable lessons in life. We all remember G.I. Joe, and at the end of the G.I. Joe shows, you know, they would always teach you a valuable lesson, right? And they would say that knowing is half the battle, right? And they would always have a PSA, right? That's how you learned a lot of times. It wasn't just you having great parents that taught you the values of being a perfect citizen in society. It's that you learn from a lot of different things in life, man. Maybe a teacher influenced you. Maybe a best friend that you had, you know, influenced you in a certain way. Again, it's about learning as you go through life, man. It's not about having, you know, all of your relatives around you or all of these great scenarios, you know, a great neighborhood, a great home environment, all of these kinds of things, man. That's not what it's about.
Yeah, but Robin, none of that matters because as long as you're raised in a single parent household, you can just blame it on that. Everything you just said, none of it matters unless the specifics adhere directly to LeBron James or Rich Paul. Everything you're just saying is you're speaking from a place of privilege, bro. I think you need to fall back.
I'm not going to disclose how many parents I had in case I want to change my narrative, in case I want to change the blame.
Exactly.
Mark doesn't provide a comment, but gave a generous $10 super. Thank you, Mark. Thank you for being here.
Shout out to Martavion Marshall. Thank you very much for coming through.
And I think Ruthless Raider might have to take the cake of generosity today. And I enjoyed the laughs of some of your nicknames. Thank you so much for all of the supers. Pink Lady asks for any LeBron fans in the chat to speak their minds so we can cook them. We're going to wrap this up. Hey, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me and for everything you bring. Yeah, Speam, you too. But hey, don't forget. Hey, congratulations again to Cyberius for his 300th episode, and it was a good one. Go and watch it. We featured a portion of it here today.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Sports and Fitness Rants continues to crank out the motivation, and apparently Speam didn't have the right number of parents to put out videos, but
this is weak. You're better than this. You're better than these. You're better than this. I expect better next time.
I tried to include you in the closing and I couldn't come up with anything. I'm sorry. Speam, you're amazing. Thank you for being here.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Oh, here's a gifted Titan Long, gifted an Angry Old Hoops fan membership. And Vincent Garcia. Hey, Vincent. Thank you. Sports and Fitness Rants. Parking lot pimping still has me rolling. Shout out.
Yo, we used to do that, man. Yo, shout out to Virginia Beach, man. We were down there in Virginia Beach out there parking lot pimping, man, for real.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yo, hope you guys have a good rest of your Sunday, man. Again, thank you, AOH, for having me on here again. Cyberius Speed, man. You guys be good.
Great shit, gentlemen. Thanks,
right,
everyone.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone who was in the chat and for watching and for any comments that are coming. And have a great day, everyone.
Yeah.